So Sam, I heard you have a very special announcement you'd like to make today.
Yeah, to be honest, it's very a special announcement, and I just wanted to do it on your show. I couldn't think of any better place. It's not that my own show gets like 2 views per video, even though I go on Fox News and all that. Even I come on your show with 5 million viewers and all that. It's just that I couldn't think of a better place. So I thought I'd make a special announcement that I last night after frankly cries from the community. I've decided that I'm going to run for the state senate in New York.
Oh, wow, wow. That is super exciting. So what made you make this decision to run?
It was just the constant, as I said, the constant cries. The people from my community kept coming up to me, requesting, telling me, Sam, get off your ass. Do something with your life. You can't just do nothing with your life. You can't just spend it watching movies and living off your parents. So, they kept coming up to me saying, Sam, go do something. Maybe a state senate, anything, do something. And they kept saying that, and I kept saying, Mom, Dad, sis, I don't, people of my community, I don't want to do something. I want to be free and stuff. But they insisted. They said, we only trust you. So I decided that I'm going to run for the Senate, which, as you know, I'm sure you are well aware, is one of the most important things. I mean, some people say it's insignificant, it's not important, but I believe, election, a state senate, which is the representative of like a district, which is about like 2 streets in New York. It's going to be just, the importance of it for California, for Chicago. You know better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, New York might be a state, but I mean, it's almost like a country. Its influence and impact goes all the way to, in the US or Africa, Europe, South America, everywhere, really.
Milky Way, yes, you're true. You're such correct, Sam. You're always so on point. Sorry, Cam. I'm sorry, I'm mixing you up with somebody. But and especially right now, I feel especially right now when you're under so much attack from the right wing. Sorry, I have a checklist I have to go through. Just a moment. You're under so much attack from the right wing. Trans people, Black people, brown people, disabled people. Oh, sorry, that's just a type. Mexicans, Haitians, women of color, women of not color. Sorry. Disabled Black people, disabled Haitian Black people, disabled Latino Black people, disabled Latino. Sorry, the checklist is very. I don't need to go through all of this. I'm just boring you guys. I'm just boring you. But when we are under so much attack, when we are under so much attack, all of us, just the other day, I went to the doctors. I don't know if you go to the doctors. I went to the doctors, and I just right as I was in doctors, the doctor told me I have a problem, which is very common. It's very common. Thank you for your concerns, everybody, but it's very common. And just I was right there, and the doctor was talking and talking. Oh, you have to do that. And I was just phasing out, thinking, how can I connect this to identity politics? How can I connect this to identity politics? And I thought, okay, maybe I talk about how there is not enough investment in research in women, something along those lines. I don't know. How do you think I don't know, but these are the things that if I get to the state senate, these are the issues that I'll be covering. And I'm untethered. I'm tested by fire and ice. I'm a steel. So.
No, there's certainly so much work to be done. And do you have a website or something where people can go and learn more about your campaign?
Yes. We just set it up. We are not sure about the name, but Konst for New York. Konst for New York. That's the campaign we are running. And we feel that name truly represents our true selves, the true self that we identify as and we identify as. That's Konst for New York is truly, I feel, a name we can all get behind, me and the people like me. It's a true representative name, I feel. So we went for Konst for New York.
No, certainly. And folks, that's Kunst for New York. You can find it in the description. box. I mean, the comment, I think YouTube, yeah, comment section, description. But and Naomi, so this is not the first time if that you're running, if I'm not mistaken, right? How did your last attempt go?
We are not talking about that.
Do you have a website, or is that web 1.0? I mean, are you going
We do. We have it. It's going up right now. I believe this is a very quick thing. It is going to be konstfornewyork.com. Konstfornewyork.com. Konstfornewyork.com.
All right, folks, you heard it for yourself. Please go on kunstfornewyork.com and show your support to Nomiki. So there's actually more to this website story. But we're gonna save it for our segment. So you have to go check out the segment because there's more to it.
That's why I love puns. I love comedy because it allows you to say shit like this without feeling guilty. Yeah.
Well, that was really funny. But okay, folks, welcome back to Spar and Brawl. I hope you're in decent there. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam. We're back with a new episode of The Progressive World. So I'm going to go through the lineup, and please like and subscribe, of course, and you can find timestamps down below. However, we've removed all our news, geopolitical stories out of Progressive World and recorded yesterday in a new show called The Four Corners of Geopolitics. So I highly recommend you go check it out. I'm sure you will like it, especially those of you who like us talking about Iran and different aspects of Iran. We did perhaps get a bit carried away in this first episode, but I know that there's some folks who really like that. So go.
One of the four corners was far more prominent in the four corners of the.
We got pretty much stuck in one of the corners, but hopefully that won't be the case every time. But okay, so you guys just also heard our dialogue. That was the first part, our little, Nomiki Kunst impression from Sam. So you guys already heard that. Then we're going to move to our chit-chat as per usual. After that, we have a few viewer comments. 2 viewer comments that we're going to address now, and 2 other ones that are going to fall in their segments. One is on World Economic Forum, and the other one, Jordan Peterson. So you guys shared some good comments with us. We appreciate that as always. Then we're going to move on. Our next segment is Johnny Depp. There's been some weird takes, not weird takes, but bad takes kind of, and some that are not necessarily really bad takes, but I just feel like just too much arm wrestling and just wrestling to try and reach that point. I'm specifically kind of referring to Briahna. Speaking of Briahna, Briahna the White Savior, Briahna Rising Edition. There are like 2 different Briahnas I've come to learn apparently. So we're going to talk a lot about Briahna and different stories on the Rising, including about trans people competing in swimming and other competitions, the Johnny Depp one. And I believe she also has this video. I mean, Rising has this video. Again, it falls under a Brie segment about freedom of speech being attacked by, right? Sam will explain what the video is about. Briahna literally did an 8-minute monologue. So I don't know. Sam will attempt. She connected everything to anything. I think it was trying to point out the right-wing hypocrisy, I'm guessing, but damn, did she make it really hard and complicated. Okay, so after that, we'll be done with Briahna and Rising. Then we're going to do a proper segment on Nomiki Kunst running for Senate, for State Senate. Our next story after that is on the World Economic Forum. So a few of our viewers, especially Jared, told me to kind of go look into it. And I went and listened to Primo Radical's video. And I also listened to this interview on Breaking Points that I agreed with a lot. So hopefully I'll be sharing my take there, and maybe Sam will add a few things to it. Then we have another segment on Jordan Peterson. Again, one of our good commenters and online friends, you can say, has pointed out about, how we talk about Jordan Peterson. So we're going to acknowledge that and then go on to making more fun of Jordan Peterson. But we're going to try to be nuanced as fair as possible. Then finally, our last 2 stories to wrap it up. Sam shared this Chapo Trap House video with me about Sweden. It's really fun. You're going to want to hear it. And then finally, the Guardian article. There's a Guardian article on loneliness. Sam, that's the one you had shared with me about a few days ago, right? Or a week ago or so, yeah.
It's a hugely useful article for everyone of all, social backgrounds, economic backgrounds. It helps you fight loneliness because we do live in an age of loneliness. I truly believe that to an extent. to a very limited extent, to be
We'll
honest.
see.
But yeah, this article is a definite help. And I was just like, again, it's part of, I think I should make a regular sort of segment of this, of me basically going, is anything published now? Like, can
No,
I just
this
send
Guardian article was bad in a different way from other Guardian articles
Oh,
I
yeah,
found. We get
This was-
because exactly it was extremely empty. Like the other ones make kind of points and takes and stuff that we don't agree on. This
That's
one was
so
just
harsh.
really empty. Like I didn't agree or disagree. It could have just been a blank page. But that was the first time I read it. Sometimes when I look at them again, I kind of change my mind. So
Oh
we'll
my
see.
God, that's so
We'll
harsh.
see. But
That's so
okay,
harsh.
Sam.
That's like worse than saying to someone like this was bad. This like, yeah, you left no impact. Your impact was like, a standing in
I
a,
don't-
a small in a field. Like
I don't know
that's
what else to
okay.
say, but perhaps I'll change my mind once we take a second look at this article.
Yeah, you will for sure. It's great.
All right,
I'm
let's
sure.
move to our chit chat, Sam. How's it
Sure,
going?
sure.
How's your week? Anything
Well,
special you'd like to talk about, share, complain, whine, go crazy about, lose
I
your
have
mind?
a bone. Yeah,
Of
I have a
course.
bone to pick with you and some of our
Me?
yeah, you and some of our the people who so-called regular viewers, loyal fans. I don't know what the fuck. I enemies.
What have I
at this
done?
point. Well, I feel I shared this story. I shared this story about personal, like my uncle passing,
Yeah.
saying my uncle and he's a second father to me. And then people commented talking about their pets passing away.
Hey.
And you showed so much more support. Like this, how old, what happened? What is going on in your life? Oh, can I come and help? Do you want me to bring in a calzone or something? And I was talking about my uncle, the uncle. And then again, I don't want to judge people if they love their pets or whatever, but I feel hurt.
But okay, but hey, I had asked you all those things, or I knew them already, so I couldn't ask you again. And you came on here
just to show support. You could have asked me again.
Okay, maybe I could have showed more support. However, Caramont, who left that comment, I feel like Caramont has a skill that the way she put it though didn't come off as bad. Like, oh, your uncle died. Well, my pet died. I don't know. Caramont has a way of writing. Honestly, I was left with an impression because if somebody else writes that, and I have a dog, I love dogs, I would have been like, okay, this guy's uncle just died. Because she said that my dog just passed away, and it's hard to deal with the grief, and just listening to you and you talking about it, then so she kind of went in from that angle, which I found it to be, I don't know.
So you're blaming her?
No.
You're blaming her for being a shitty friend in time of need?
Not at all. I'm saying she was good. She did a good job in the way that she approached the subject, I thought, while putting out the fact about her dog.
Sure, yeah.
But you want to know another reason though, like the dog thing really
no. Let's do the show. No.
You brought up the dogs.
No, it's no, I just want to say I'm just joking. Any comment in the comment section that's not a positive and about me breaks my heart, really. So it's just me being a bit of a what do you call it? Selfish person. Yeah.
It really seems to be the case. And but one reason that I didn't want to actually.
What the fuck? It really seems to be the case. No, Sam, no, you're not that. Oh yeah, sorry. It's just constant
so now we also have sensitive Sam here, another character to add to the show.
Oh my God. Oh yes, yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Let's do our show.
No, I was gonna talk about the dogs. I mean, I wasn't gonna say this because I would have, but it's. So she said that her dog had one of these seizures and just passed away, and someone else mentioned that their dog also just had one of these seizures and passed away. And I didn't want to bring it up because fortunately for me it went better, but my dog was also having those seizures for 2 years span, and it was really weird. The first few times it happened was really shocking because she just lost control of her body. She would try to sit up and she would fall back on her butt. So did a bunch of tests, because once it happened where it happens twice in a month. And then the test, nothing came out. And then I just changed her food from the one that she was eating to higher quality one. And I guess it really shows the impact of nutrition, if that's the reason that put an end to it. And now it's been
What
like
is
3
the
to 4 years. She hasn't had a seizure
what is the
yet.
cause?
Here I'm reading right now, it says idiopathic
you-
epilepsy, the most common cause of seizure in dog, is an inherited disorder, but its exact cause
it's
is
epilepsy.
unknown. And I
No,
think
no,
it
I
can
just-
happen for different reasons. Maybe the one that Carrotmon was talking about was perhaps a bit different, but I've seen it. So that extra caught my attention when she said that.
Is it many years ago or just?
Yeah, no, I think the last time she had it was perhaps like 3 years ago even. Like, thankfully, really, since I switched her food, she stopped having them. But before that, she was having them between the age of like 4 to 7 or so, I guess. Every now and then at the end, it became twice in a row. That's where we took her to do different tests. Nothing happened. I think my sister said, like, her dog, she switched her food. She wasn't having those issues, but just her dog went much better with her food. So I was like, yeah, let me just get a higher quality, better type of the same food. And I did. And somehow that put an end to it. It was really surprising, but thankfully.
So did you just see that?
Huh?
Did you just see that?
What?
That's how you show friendship. Okay. You ask follow-up questions. You go, even though you're like, I don't care, but you're like, right? That's how you do it. Sorry.
But I do care and I do ask questions. I guess when I know the answers, I don't. But you're probably asking questions and, like, a way to get to me. You're like, yeah, you're like
for a purpose.
You're like Camille, Johnny Depp. You're just leading me to a big gotcha moment.
Yeah, I have a ledger of, okay, I asked him twice about his day. Why isn't he asking about mine?
So your line of questioning was going down the path. So for 4 to 5 years, you were torturing your dog and making your dog have heart attacks. Weren't you, Cam?
You were feeding him low quality food. Yeah. That's what you said.
Those are your words, right? Those are your words.
Not hearsay, your words. Oh man. But I did have a strange week, I must say.
How come?
Because we had we are still in the funeral mode and all that, mourning mode and all that. But because I was watching the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, I was with the VPN. I would go on USA because USA is some of the channels didn't broadcast online internationally. It was on YouTube USA, and then I think majority of people who saw the court were female because my ads on YouTube got really affected by that. And all the ads I get are basically all these ads of basically women bra ads. And they're just these women of all kinds. And it's, as you say, Teto, to each their own. It truly comes to life in a bra ad because they want to show that they can, like, all shapes and form. So it's just basically constant boobs of, different shapes and forms going in front of me. Then another type of ad I get is survival shit. Just one different guys, muscular, really guys with beards going, okay, this is a pack. This pack, it will last you for 6 years in a basement, and then you mix it with water, you drink it, you can go for a week without shitting or peeing. And then you, what the fuck? It's been, so I am constantly horny and afraid and somewhat solemn, like, sad at the same time. It's the weirdest. I can't watch porn anymore because, as you made that fucking joke last week with Jordan Peterson, now all I think about now is, as soon as I think about porn, it's Jordan Peterson. And if there was ever a boner killer, that's the image for me anyway. I mean, as you said, Teto, to each his own or whatever. But I can't get it up. But so it's a very confusing time in my life.
You're liking this Teto.
I'm liking
Teto
I love
acronym
the
that I've come up with. Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, I really
You're
like
welcome. Briahna was just talking on her show how like 90% of her viewers last time she checked are all men. And you know,
Yeah,
ours is
yeah,
so
I did
weird
know.
right now. Right now, ours is at like 40 for the past month, 45% female and 55% male, which isn't how it usually was. But I'm
That's
guessing
good.
it's from all these Johnny Depp Amber
Amber
Heard
Heard.
videos. That's the only
True.
explanation I have.
Well, hopefully, I think we are cultivating a. We are not cultivating
Mhm.
any, but this is an ongoing joke. But we are cultivating a community that is
Okay.
acceptable. But I hope our show is, to be honest, I really that's what you want, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, you know, to I mean, not that it doesn't matter, I suppose, but it would be weird if it's 100% or 90% one gender or the other. It's a bit, but I hear on YouTube it's almost like 80% men or something,
No, once
right?
I checked that, and it is
No,
not.
it doesn't make sense to me because, like, I know
No,
a
it is.
lot of my friends who are female, they for cooking, for
Oh,
shopping stuff, for like everyday stuff, they use it more than men. But
yeah. I
men
mean,
don't use it for
I
shopping as much.
I can I can I can definitely see that there will be more men. But look, like right now, I'm just looking from Global Media Insight. It's saying that YouTube is more popular. Male users amount to 54% of the YouTube viewing
Okay,
population,
but
while
that's very
female
close.
visitors account for 46. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it's 60, a bit higher. But yeah, much higher than that I've heard, but I don't know. That sounds a bit too.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense to me though, because it depends on the topic. I think for
Mm.
news, maybe there is more male people that use YouTube for news, but for
Perhaps.
like check for what do you say for checking a product. I don't know if uh, that would be the
Yeah,
case.
different
It could
areas
be.
for sure.
Yeah, it depends on the product. Yeah.
But yeah, but listen,
So
I'm gonna
yeah,
make my own community within our community, though. Just
and it's gonna start a war against your community. We don't have a community.
sound
We're
my
like the
community.
oh god, this is like we are like the black people that were brought up from. We are not we are forced to be put in a community, and then oh god, this is not good.
So what else about your week? So what else have you? So were
I
you
feel
busy
like
with funeral stuff, or they were just happening and you paid a few visits here and there?
no, they weren't any ceremony and stuff anymore.
Yeah,
No,
that's what
but
I meant. Sorry,
it's
ceremonies.
just yeah, but we did went like pretty much try to spend time with the grandmother
Yeah.
and all that. But no, nothing, I've mulberries. I've been eating a lot of
Oh,
mulberries.
so the
That's nice.
season, it's the
Yeah, the
season now.
season.
Okay.
Yeah, the season of fall.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really nice. Yeah. But no, man, it's just been, as I said, just sad and horny and scared. Sad, horny, and
It's a
scared.
bad combination, I've heard. That's a
Yeah,
bad
it's a very
combination.
bad. I just in a corner, just it's a very and it's I blame YouTube ads. I blame YouTube ads. And this is a by the way, this is a thematic joke. I'm gonna come back to this
Man.
when we talk about video games and Brian. The online. Like people complaining about online stuff really get on my nerve.
But speaking of YouTube ads, honestly, the $15 that I spend per month on my YouTube subscription, and yeah, I got it for 15. YouTube kept on giving me offers until it went down to 15. Is by far the best $15 I spend every single month, because no ads. So when I'm on my bike and I'm biking, I don't have to like put my life in danger every 3 minutes, because I refuse to bike even for 5 seconds listening to something. And then when I'm traveling, it's the best, because just
I feel
download the videos and then
man, it's too
when I have
expensive.
Wi-Fi. I mean, I get more use of it out of Netflix that I would pay 10 or 11 for. I mean, it is, all I do is be on YouTube and my phone, literally.
The thing is, if the one reason why I don't like to pay, first of all, if you use it on your computer, there are no ads. But secondly,
I don't use it on my computer.
But yeah, exactly. In the app, I don't because like I have Audible. So I'm like, okay, or there are podcasts like Google Podcasts. I can go on podcast.
Oh, yeah,
like I try to or call in or something. I try to like listen to contents that are because I feel like whenever I'm on a computer, which is pretty much most of the time, YouTube is the overwhelming, you know what I mean? Like that gives me, whenever I'm watching or something, that gives me a chance to use other apps because of the ads, because I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a good discouragement from using the apps.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
You
no,
see what I
no.
mean?
I try. I'm pretty much always on YouTube. Back in the day, I would listen to podcasts on the Apple app that comes for podcasts. Haven't touched that on Spotify. Never do it. Audible too. I'm not the biggest fan of audiobooks. A few times I've tried. I failed at really like capturing what the person is saying.
Fair enough. No, maybe I'm a huge fan. Radio is the best in my view.
No, I like listening to radio just like that. I do it sometimes in the car.
I mean, radio play, like, yeah, I get, although radio itself is so good too. Yeah, just people talking is so good.
I listen to Majority Report on radio.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, FM. Yeah, sure. Man, can you imagine listening? Like, he's the most frustrating guy. Like, just say it, mother. People, I guess, just.
I feel you. But what else?
How was your week, though?
Me,
nothing.
Me, yeah, really not much. But now I think about it, in the last 7 days, I've played tennis 4 times. So besides tennis, nothing else. Played an hour on Sunday, 2 hours. Sorry, an hour on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, an hour on Wednesday, and an hour on Thursday. So all I'm doing is playing tennis.
Are you preparing for a competition or something? What is going on? There is French Open right now. I watched the Djokovic Nadal match because I was passing by when my dad was watching.
Man, I wanted to watch it, but every other game they were showing it on 9 different channels on TV. But this game, for some reason, Eurosport, which has the rights to, like random Olympic sports, happened to also have the right to this quarterfinal. Yeah, that's only so I didn't have it on TV, so I couldn't watch it. I couldn't believe it because it was like pretty much on public TV up to then. But I guess Eurosport put all its money together. They're like, okay, we have ski slalom in February. We're also adding this one tennis match.
Weightlifting in Turkey.
No, I swear.
2025. It's scheduled.
And then they're like, then we're gonna go to
exclusive rights
to the World Cup for handball. Yes, you heard. Your sport is just like the funniest chat.
Japanese sumo wrestling global competition.
Replay, not live.
From 1985. Yeah, sorry, 1985. Replay.
But hey, I guess they got this big tennis game, so it's all worth it for them.
Yeah, man. So I must say, Nadal. What is wrong with Nadal? He looks like 75 years old.
Yeah, I know, man. He's fantastic. Only 34. He's only 34.
Yeah, his hair. But people lose hair. I'm not like. Yeah. And there's this other guy, Chilik, or another guy. He's like 67 years old. He's still playing tennis. He looks fine. But Nadal, his hair, first of all, looks like what is that disease called? In Farsi, they call it Gary, when dogs start losing patches of hair. It was like, there was, patch not there, patch not there, patch not there. And then his face is like,
No, he's dying. Like in the last tournament he was in, he couldn't walk like between like sets and stuff. No, seriously. But I mean, he's 34. He's like the equivalent of, but it's like the equivalent of you being like 155 and working in an office, because he's been pro. Like if you look at the career of like a sports person, he's been pro and doing his profession since his early teens. This is what happens to you. No, of course, some people it takes a more toll on your body. Like you look different and all this.
This is like a tank has gone over you.
But it's crazy.
I was so shocked when tennis started, he would be so smooth and move, and then when the tennis stopped,
no, he's like he like limps.
He's like literally in a walker, like what is going on? His hair is falling out. He's like doing this and oh my god! Like is he in chemotherapy? What is going on?
No, I feel the poor guy looks like in bad shape, but like physically though, I think his body is definitely on that definitely from the tennis. But yeah, the rest, because I mean it's crazy. Like this Roland Garros thing, he's been winning it since he was 19. He wins it like every time he participates. He's won it 13 times. And even though apparently Djokovic is the number 1, he still beat him in 4 sets in this game. Like apparently
this
he's
game was
just so
crazy.
good on clay, Nadal. Like he's
yeah,
insane on clay
apparently.
apparently.
Yeah, apparently on clay he's the best. He got interestingly what was it? I forget. Sorry. Isn't
Okay.
it? No. Yeah. Oh, you know, the match went on for 4 hours, man. It was crazy.
I know.
I think he defeated Djokovic 2 sets, then he came back with 2. It was crazy. It was
No,
one of
it
those,
only went to 4 sets. Yeah, and it already, because I checked the score. So he won the first 2,
Oh.
then he lost the third one, and then he won the fourth one. But the fourth one went
right.
all the way till 7-6. So like the maximum that
it
can go.
That's
so there could have technically been another set, but if Djokovic had won that one, because you need to win 3 out of 5 for the men.
Man, yeah, I don't know. I guess he's gonna win the whole thing.
Most likely. I mean, he has a semifinal, final left. The Spanish kid, this 19-year-old Spanish kid to who he just lost like a few weeks ago or a month ago, that kid just lost to someone who will be playing in Nadal. So he just seems like he's like insanely like really good when it comes to clay. I mean, I've just only been to tennis for 3 weeks. So
I must say he has the best, like he has the best body. Like I've never seen a tennis player has this body. Like, you know, he looks like a bodybuilder's body. Tennis players look a bit lanky.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you know, he's just
his legs and stuff are
insane. Man, he's like Jesus Christ. Yeah, and that's the thing. His face it's like they put a face of a man in his 70s going through chemotherapy on a body of like a 22-year-old. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, broken body of a 22-year-old.
Well, I don't see the inside, but yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So you think you can take him on after this week, or
a few more games? No, I'm seriously really still struggling with the forehand. I hate the forehand. And I remember when I played as a kid, I was much better at the backhand. The forehand is actually so much harder. Yeah. Because the backhand, there's something about the fact that you're with 2 hands. I feel like it forces your body to like stay in line and do what you're supposed to do. Whereas with with the one hand you can carry.
The thing is, because I had a problem with my latest coach, because when I was young I had learned it one-handed. So I have really problem, and now they only teach 2-handed because it's better always for like even like force-wise, and that's what he told me anyway. But that's I can't. I 2-handed for me is more difficult. Backhand is for me more difficult because I have to think about now you have to grab it.
Yeah.
Now you have to do this. Yeah.
No, me from the beginning, I remember when I was a kid and I played, they taught me with 2 hands.
Yeah.
So it come much more naturally to me. But the forehand, really struggling with that for now. But we shall see. But yeah, anything else you would like to mention? Or should we move on to 2 viewer comments and then we'll do the other 2 viewer comments where they belong in the show?
No, just the main show though. I did just for our show researching and stuff. This week I found a couple of new people to hate. And as you know, I live to hate. So it's been a good week in that sense. Like this new guy that Brie discovered, whatever guy is just, I just enjoy hating him so much.
Damn, what a channel he had. 280,000 subscribers. So, what does he talk about? Anyway, you'll tell me what he talks about when we do that segment.
Hey, don't do this to me now, okay? Let me. This is how my nephew, whenever I take him to a doctor to have a injection, that's like, all right, give me a moment. The needle. Don't show me the needle.
Well, okay, all right. Let's get the real party started. All right, Sam. So let's do a couple of your comments from really some of our best commenters who always comment and who leave both, critical stuff and also, some more positive stuff at times when they agree. So really appreciate both of them a lot. So let's go through these comments. I think some you even agree, these 2. So these first 2 are kind of for you, Sam. So TCT 8. Anytime I reply back to him, he has to change it. TCT has to change his username. It's so hard to address it.
Especially as a dyslexic person, you have to do it for me. But is this part of your strategy of creating your own community, or like these comments are for you? Like this motherfucker.
Because this is literally what you said. That's why.
Just-
So
no,
let me
the
start with the first
emphasis
one.
you put on.
I
Go
like the
ahead.
idea that Bernie could have co-opted Beto, Tulsi, Yang, and so on. I would love to explore the alternative storyline with you. But wouldn't Bernie then just end up exactly like all the other corrupt politicians we criticize who are not being able to do one thing or another because they owe favors? Actually, I don't think I agree with this one either. I'll let you go first because
I'm saying
yeah, go ahead. You talk and then I'll see
I'm
what
saying all politicians, including Bernie, are not like there is of course different levels, but they're all do things because of corruption and favors. They are into power, right? So I'm saying if Bernie was to offer them like positions of power, because obviously left doesn't have money, right? The only thing they could possibly offer is like you become secretary of a state and you can throw your weight around, right? I mean, I don't think that's even possible now, but that's what I was trying to get to. So I don't know, because who are not being able to do one thing or another, because it wouldn't be Bernie owing them, it would be them owing Bernie, though, wouldn't it? Or
exactly.
I mean, of course it's cyclical, though. He
Yeah.
would have to give something. He's giving power to them, and in because of that power, they're gonna do something that is good for the left. Let's say, for example, I make you Secretary of Labor. You have to make the minimum wage $20, but I promise, if whoever comes after you, I'll be behind you 100%, election or non-election wise. If they come after you for some, I don't know, some bad comments you said or something, or I'm gonna back. That's what I'm. Then again, I understand money is far more persuasive, but I'm just saying some people like Beto O'Rourke, it seems to me like Beto O'Rourke, I think, comes from a well-off family. They are not in it for money. They're in it for power and recognition and all that. So maybe you could get them like that, like that's all I'm saying. Maybe, but it's an alternative storyline. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a bit of a
I agree. And I mean,
fantasy.
the last thing I would say, but wouldn't then Byrne just end up exactly like all the other corrupt politicians we criticize? I would say not exactly,
In a
because
way.
it's also the favor is not owned. It's not being owned to, private interest or corporations or other ones.
No, but it's
in this
still the
example
same
that you said
tactic.
were specific politicians in order to increase his own like influence and his own chance of becoming president. So I think it's a bit different than owing other favors. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know if I'm totally against all kind of favors fully anyway. Like, I mean, I guess you have to collaborate with people, and why would some people want to collaborate with you? What's in it for them? You have to kind of give them something. So maybe you have to also judge a little bit based on case by case and who you're saying to collaborate with. Here you were just pointing out to semi-outsiders in the Democratic Party who could potentially be aligned more with Bernie Sanders. So I think here it's a bit different than just in general politicians owing favors to this person and that all the time. I'm just trying to make a distinction here. I don't know if I failed.
Well, there is a distinction. There's a distinction, but I don't think there's a difference really, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's the same tactic. But they use different. And in my view, that's actually ties up well with what we're going to say about Briahna Greyjoy, is that the idea that we're going to convince people to come to the Jesus moment, and then all right, okay, we have it. No, that's not going to happen, and unite together. No, we have to at some point make deals, or like if you have certain beliefs, at some point it's not all about convincing people. It's about buying people off. Really, that's what it's about largely. So I think tactically it's the same thing. Really, it's just with a different end goal in mind. So I don't mind it being tactically the same as corporations going to politicians. It's like that. It's Bernie going to politicians or other politicians saying, if you don't do this, if you don't do this, I'll call you out. But Bernie would never do that. He didn't do it with Biden. So it's all a fantasy.
But I also really
all a fantasy.
Take into consideration the specific people that you had lined up, that you had mentioned, because if these I think it makes a difference if these favors were owned, to Hillary Clinton or something. Yeah, she's just gonna come and screw you over the next day or something, like some other politicians. Whereas these ones I thought would be more useful, and he could control perhaps better. Yeah, it depends on a case by case. But
they would screw you over in a heartbeat if they could too. But Biden or Hillary had the power to screw Bernie. But Tulsi or Beto O'Rourke would never had that power. So if Bernie had supported them at some point instead of, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Biden
so he's the big shark really in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
Kinda.
In that case. So yeah, I don't think there is any difference between any of these motherfuckers. The difference is in the positioning they have within the structure.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I'm sure in the right circumstances, Hillary could be an angel, and
I don't know. She might be too far gone, but
yeah, too much of a robot to really have a personality. But yeah, anyway, it's all about circumstances. All I'm saying, if you align yourself with a smaller, as you say, sharks, so to speak, and you can be eaten up. But then again, it's all a fantasy, and it's all, as you say, like you said it. And I at first I was skeptical, but I've come around it that Bernie kind of ruined people's mind, including mine, because he just suddenly offered this sort of a shortcut that, oh Jesus, there's a socialist in the Senate, and it's just and then he's disappointed in many ways. So it's just like
such a unique thing that happened with him, such a unique moment, and unfortunately trying to make that happen again will probably not. It probably won't happen again that way. Like, exactly. It was a shortcut. It was literally going from one senator who's like, who's socialist in the Senate to boom, then he might become the president of the United States. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was
intriguing. It was amazing. Hopeful. It was the most amazing political thing I have seen.
But it has left this disease in the mind that you keep role playing what ifs that are really, counterfactual history. Gives a shit.
No, for sure. And what's the second comment, Sam? What is that referring to? Who is they? Name the prominent politicians. Name the bill.
Oh, I clicked on the time thingy, and then it was about the trans people, which we're going to talk about later. So, but I did, I think, okay, I just want to make clarification. I don't think the trans problem with the pronouns, which I think is a bit of and trans issues, like trans people in sports and all that, those issues are anywhere near, for example, the issue that America has with racism, or the differences between blacks and whites, and immigration, and a lot of things. I don't think it's the biggest issue, all that. But I did, just to make sure, I did search some things, and I did find out this is from Washington. Oh, sorry, no, where was it? Oh, there is a law, for example, in the New York. I can't find it. Misgendering law, apparently, that if from what I understand, this is from Washington Post, you can be fined for not calling people Z or here if that's not their preferred pronoun. So, but then again, I'm very confused on this thing. But then he said name prominent politicians. For example, I think AOC was one time criticized for saying menstruating persons instead of like women. So again, I don't think it's half, or even it's like 1/20th of importance of most issues we talk about: economic inequality, minimum wage, state versus federal laws in the US, global politics, Boris Johnson party stuff. It's not even as important as that, probably. But I do think, there is just because it's small doesn't make me wrong, I think. And I think it's not nice. It's just so, and it's at the end of the day, it's the culture wars. At the end of the day, it's just a distraction. I get it. But I'm just saying there is some stuff going on.
Yeah, but it's so interesting. So you said something that Brie also says in the show on Rising, right? But it just came off in two different ways. And I also think that I don't think the trans issue or trans in sports or anything is like, the more important issue. If you'd rank it, it probably fall pretty low. But just I wanted to say this so we don't sound like hypocrites, because later on where we get to the Brie part, or perhaps now the way she said it and how she doesn't care about it, which led to Robbie saying you almost sound like you have contempt. It just sounded like such a different way. Although I kind of agreed with her, but it's just because she went, me as a leftist populist, I care about the millions of people. She just came out so differently, although she made the same point as you just kind of made, right? But in such a different way for some reason. It came off so differently.
There's a good Iranian saying that it goes in threes, but I'm trying to translate it now. For example, there's a good Iranian saying, please be quiet, silent, and shut the fuck up. All mean the same thing. But, there's a difference. So yeah, I do definitely think there was a it's or sit down or sit the fuck down. They mean the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's difference. So again, and no, because for example, I think the point TC, and I'm gonna call him TC. I don't care about what was trying to make was that, for example, considering like how many prominent politicians are pushing this as opposed to, let's say, the gun industry or the pharmaceutical industry's interest. So yeah, of course, and as a Marxist, you should focus on the structural issues. But in this specific issue, we were talking about the culture thing, and in that thing, even if it's not an important issue, which you may agree, you may not agree if it's important or not. I think not that I was right? Like I was making a point. So whether it's a big issue or a small issue, like it's like, if I want to talk about Batman, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so I mean, half the time we're not talking about important stuff all the time. And neither is Brie. I mean, we'll get to that.
Neither is exactly.
Talking about Star Trek or Sopranos, which I love. Is the worst. Or about the kind of or love shows that she had before, whatever she was, that one that she had made. It was really weird coming, but we're gonna get into this. There are really two Bries. I think there are two Bries, or it's the medium, or the medium is more important than I thought. Maybe perhaps.
We will save Brie for later. But I feel like.
Sam, maybe if I move my desk and face the other way, you'll get a new cam. I don't know.
Right-wing cam. No, I was just thinking that, I feel like there's a difference. Like I am very judgmental, but I'm not condescending. And I feel like condescending is worse anyway. It's like...
Perhaps. And we can all make that mistake anyway. Maybe I'll come off condescending.
Sure, of course we can all make it. I'm just like, I was just thinking of the times I've made fun of people or that type of thing. But anyway.
And by the way, I've selectively picked comments from the Rising show to also show other people pointing out some strange things with Brie. Selectively, fair enough, but hey.
I thought you're going to say I've also selectively picked out some other comments that are critical of Sam.
Oh, no. But okay, Sam. And then we have two other comments here by Bobby. They're quite long. Maybe I'll just flash them on the screen. Bobby 357.
Short-term messages. I can't.
No, but they're great. So they'll be on the screen right now. And just going to try to address them a bit. So, I mean, one of them, the first one, I'll read the second paragraph. He says, Kam should balance Sam's enthusiastic over-the-top takes by presenting Amber's side of the story. Instead, Kam is piling on. Yeah, sorry, I'm not that good a person. I wasn't really piling on. I was just trying to say what I think is the truth. But I guess since I was on Sam's side, it does come as piling up. As a result, the two are beginning to sound like a couple of bully boys picking on the autistic girl in class. But when she's not autistic, I'm not making fun of her for being autistic or anything. And a lot of the time, we're making fun of the host of characters that were also involved in the Johnny Depp trial. Let's put that there as well.
Some more than others.
Yeah. And then as the saying goes, there are two sides to every story and the truth lies somewhere in the middle. This is as true in politics as it is in personal relationships. By the way, I don't believe in the two sides to the story. That's absolute lie. There are a billion sides, because if there were only two sides, the jury would have had Johnny Depp say his piece and Amber Heard say her piece. and then it would have been over. But no, had to bring in like an army of other people in order to get all the sides there. So this whole two-side thing, I never believe it. Two sides are as incomplete as perhaps one side of the story. And then the second comment that he had, this is much more recent. This is from just a few days ago. Again, thank you, Bobby. So he wrote, "We know what kind of person Amber Heard is. She almost certainly suffers from borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder, all this. We all know what kind of person Johnny Depp is. These are the lead characters in this drama. One of these characters will emerge victorious, but there are no winners here. There never is when two emotionally damaged people who once loved each other decide to settle the differences on stage for all the world to see." Yeah, I mean, definitely agree with that. Some in attendance think that what is unfolding is a comedy of errors. Some of it is perhaps, though, when reality is a tragedy of human proportions. Amber and Johnny Depp do not deserve our scorn. They deserve our pity. I do pity at the same time. I mean, I don't pity Johnny Depp anymore too much now, because hopefully his life would change. Anything, I do pity Amber Heard, because I mean, you know, I also pity people who have times have done something bad.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I went from the message to see the last message and went to a video.
But yeah, okay. So here you go. I read quite a bit of the comments, so I'll leave it to you if you want to address them a bit. I kind of said my pieces here there.
I wholeheartedly disagree. I don't think there are two sides to the story, to be honest. I mean, not that I believe in
you don't
objective...
disagree with me then? You don't disagree with me? I did.
No. I disagree with Bobby. Yeah.
But did you understand what I said about the sides to the story?
Yeah, but there is a billion different sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with you too.
So, yeah. What, you think there are a billion and one?
No, there is stories. I'm sorry, but look, okay, this is postmodernism gone. You are postmodernism gone too far. There is a billion different sides. I don't think we can establish objective truths of a matter in a really, when we've never been in the room. But there is certain things called evidence, and there are certain things called like rationales or logical sort of conclusions based on things. And I think, okay, let's get first of all, Bobby, I think mentioned in one of the older comments that he had known people with these problems, so he's a bit more sympathetic perhaps. I've known people with these problems and many more problems. She's 36 years old, 37 years old. Get help. You're a grown fucking ass woman. I don't care if you have BDP or don't have BDP. I know people who have BDP. I know people who have bipolar, maniacs, manics. Sorry, not maniacs. Manics. Maniacs is a bad term, I think. But anyway, I lived with them my whole fucking life. I'm one of them probably. But you know, it's just get help. I don't care. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but you know, it's like, oh, I had cancer, so I had to rob a bank. Oh, fuck you. That has nothing to do with the other. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I can be sympathetic towards you having the disease, but I mean, what is the claim here that she behaved in a certain way because of her mental problems? Is that
partially?
Partially.
Yeah, partially. I would call it the excuse, but yeah, unless your diagnosis leads to you being chained up, it's not an excuse to me for anything, to be honest, frankly.
I don't know if I would go that far, but yeah.
No, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but BDP is just like BDP. One of those things that get misdiagnosed, borderline. It gets mixed, like ADHD people get misdiagnosed as BDP or vice versa all the time. Also, bipolar people, BDP. There's quite a lot of overlap in misdiagnosis, or even overlap when you do diagnose them, according to some psychiatrists. But it's a borderline personality is basically somebody who is in a constant, it's like, you know, bipolar. Do you know bipolar people?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard.
Yeah, they go between two extremes, like manic and depressed. BDP is constantly like that. BDP can go like that within, like, that's the general. I know there's different versions of the DMC, whatever book, all that. There's different definitions of it. But the general idea is BDP goes through that constantly, and because of that their personality is really not, they don't really have a personality, they just adopt
and did someone make that argument for Amber Heard? Like, did her side make that argument?
No, Johnny Depp's doctors. Yeah, BDP people are usually villains in most, like, that's the thing. I mean, look, that's why BD, like, it's easy to say, I don't know. Anyway, I think there is a huge amount of, by the way, overdiagnosis of BDP, ADHD, depression, and all that, especially in the young people. And normal feelings are sometimes, just, oh, I am very sad because my life is shit. Well, you should be sad. That's not depression. That's just reality. It's just kicking in. So, I'm just saying, there is a lot of debate surrounding that. So first of all, we don't know if she has BDP for sure. Just the forensic psychology has said that, basically. Secondly, even if she does, that doesn't excuse the stuff. And they are public figures. I mean, look, for them, it's a tragedy. For us, it's a comedy. I'm sure if I was going through this, I wouldn't be happy,
Yeah.
But for us, it's a comedy. And this comes with their, being a public figure. And, I don't think we pity them. Again, it's kind of, maybe we talk about this later with Brie. I don't know who are these people who have these amazing lives. Like most people I know in their lives, this is not that crazy to me. Like the only part that is a bit crazy is hair. To be honest, the craziest part to me was the hair pooping in the bed. That was the craziest part. But I've had friends who throwing bottles. I mean, come on, I've seen plates being thrown around quite a lot of times. I had a friend, I think I told you, she stabbed one of her boyfriends one time with a fruit knife in a family party with a fruit knife, like orange peeling knife. And then another time she beat somebody's face like your boyfriend. I didn't see that one. Yeah. But so I'm just saying, like, I've known these people. I don't feel like that's that odd. I don't feel that sad about making fun of them or anything.
I mean,
like
listen,
that.
if I saw Amber Heard, I wouldn't go up and maybe make fun of her to her face, right? And here too, but actually, I don't know. I would think that sometimes I am quite sensitive with these things, and I take
far more than
people's feelings far more into consideration, perhaps. But with this one, it's just I rarely got that feeling in my gut, like, oh, Kam, you're doing something wrong, watching this and commenting on this. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she put for all these years, she put all this narrative out and all this, and I mean, I didn't.
Well, the Bobby would say she's suffering from mental illness, so that's why.
Yeah.
But I would
I'm
say
not making
it's
fun
not
of her
that.
to her face, and I mean, I wasn't even.
I'm sorry, but there is differentiation. If it's not like she has Down fucking syndrome, right?
No,
It's
and there is
BDP.
differentiation. That is for sure. I would 100% agree with you there, and it's bad, and I wouldn't make fun of her to her face, and maybe it's the reason for many of her actions and all this. But hey, from a distance, they won this trial. She decided to go this public way, so Johnny Depp responded, and they went this public way, and they were having this trial, and we're watching and we're following it. And I mean,
I still would prefer to have their money. Like I still am.
I don't know how much money Amber Heard has, but yeah.
No, he's money.
Yeah, always.
By later. Yeah. Oh, but by yeah. I don't think she. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm just saying that I think Bobby's taking it way too seriously. To be honest, I'm just saying that. First, and it's gonna probably help her. Any of the, all of these videos and people commenting raises her online profile or some shit. I don't care. I don't know. But I'm just saying, and she sounds like an awful person. And whenever there's I think that's part of the reason. She does seem like a bad person.
I mean, she does seem like she's done. I mean, that's what the court found, right? I mean, the jury, I believe, was convinced that she had bad intent.
Found the opposite, I had pretty much made up my mind. But I would say that, and it's so, people are talking why so many people are interested in this case and all that. A lot of people talking because it's so rare in life to get such a good villain and you just want to, enjoy hating somebody. And as somebody who lives for hate, some of me.
And there was so much there, there was just so much there. Everybody could find something that didn't make sense to them that just blew their mind away. And there were so many different aspects. I mean, for me is when she was describing the way Johnny Depp beat her. I mean, still can't believe that there was like attempted murder pretty much. So, I mean, there were just some crazy shit that you heard there that you couldn't get out of your mind. The beat thing, I mean, the beat thing's more of a comedy thing, and the way that it cut off like that, it comes off like this. But I mean, it's just, there's so many things. And then the people that they brought in, the different kind of witnesses and experts, they just added it on, a movie expert who doesn't know about Batman, and then a psychologist who doesn't know if Johnny Depp was intoxicated or not when he did the exam. Like, the movie one has to be my favorite. Have you heard of Batman? No, yeah, I've seen Superman. Maybe. Like, are you movie experts, or who did they find you? Are you the wrong person? Excuse. Do you want to double check if you called the right person? Oh no, sorry. No, she did. She's just worked in the cafeteria at the film studio. They have the same last name. We meant to get somebody else. This person didn't know anything about movies suddenly.
Hello, how are you? Movie, I don't know. But no, I want to make a greater point. I don't know. This hate gets too much hate, I feel. Hate is a powerful feeling. Hate, it can be a great motivator. Hate is beautiful. Hate is love. So
yeah, Bobby, let us know what you think. I know it's a bit unfair. Poor Bobby has to write these long.
Yeah,
and then we just come here. I'm like, I don't know Sam. You know what I mean, right?
Sam is just one of the guys.
And then when Sam says something messed up, I just, to cover my ass, I just say, I don't know how much I agree with that. Leave it open so it's not even clear if I agree or disagree.
Let me distance me and my community from you for a moment. I'm not. This is interview. I'm not really. We're not part of a cohort.
Well, okay, all right. I think that's it. So, actually, perfect time to transition to some more Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. All right, Sam. So, as we just finished talking Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, let's talk some more Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. So the trial is over. Maybe you want to talk about, share the latest, and then let's move on to media reactions.
So the trial finished. On 2 counts, they found that Amber Heard should pay up to Johnny Depp, and on 1 count, they found that Johnny Depp should pay up to Amber Heard. Obviously, Johnny Depp won the thing. He was the clear winner because he got 10 million for damages and 5 million in punitive damages. Although the punitive damages will be capped at the estates. The estate has a cap of 300.
I thought he won 3. He won all 3 claims that he had made. He won 3.
He won the claims.
He won all 3 of them.
3 claims. He won all 3 claims. But the money. I was just saying the money.
True,
the money was 1 for damages, 1 was for punitive.
And something also important to highlight is that Amber Heard didn't win against Johnny. I guess she did win against Johnny, but the statement that she won over, that statement was made by Johnny Depp's former lawyer and not Johnny Depp himself. Which,
and the statement
important to bear in mind,
we come to that, and the statement that he lost, Amber Heard won on really for 2 million, and no punitive damages, was so specific that I think that's how they got it.
No, it was extremely the person exactly claimed that a particular situation that Amber Heard referred to were a hoax, where the events had happened.
But just as a case study, and I know I focus on them too much, and you can find articles from everywhere, but just as a case study, that's how Guardian announced the news. That's the headline. Amber Heard reportedly plans to appeal against Johnny Depp defamation verdict. So that's the headline of announcing the thing finished. So the actor Amber Heard is reported to be planning an appeal after losing a defamation trial against her former husband, Johnny Depp, over allegations of domestic abuse. Again, I reiterate, this is before, this is right after Johnny Depp won, and this is before her lawyer went on TV and said they're going to actually appeal. This article was written before. Jurors, first paragraph is about the appeal, then the second paragraph. Jurors in a Virginia court ruled in favor of Depp's claim of defamation on 3 counts, rewarding the Pirates of the Caribbean actor $15 million, 12 million pounds, which was later reduced by the judge to $350,000, reduced by the. You do see how they're framing the thing?
Man,
it's unbelievable.
Honestly,
it's unbelievable.
people like to think that this court had no value, or this trial had no value. A lot of interesting values. Yeah, it's not the most important thing. Far from it. We're not talking about the material condition of people and all of this, very important. But so many different things that often I see the left latch on. Oh, this shows how the media covers things. It's a perfect example of how the media cover things. There's the ACLU part. Just baffles me the way that a lot of people on the left didn't want to engage with this at all, which had more than just entertainment value to it. It had the whole Me Too aspect to it. The op-ed was written during the Trump time, this whole thing of blaming everything on Trump. I mean, all these talking points were there for people to engage with this more. I mean, the ACLU's role, it's just quintessential points at everything that people are talking about the ACLU changing and no longer being the same, blah, blah, blah. This was like the perfect case example to talk about it. It really surprises me how people treated this as if it was like just like a pure, I don't know, like just like a random football game or something, that there was nothing you could draw from like some important conclusions.
Man, the worst is it's kind of like Russiagate though, with these motherfuckers, with even right wing, at some point at least they admit they lost the battle.
Yeah, these
even
guys...
even if they continue to fight the war. These motherfuckers never, I mean, listen to this. Listen.
No, sorry, but last point also, last point I want to make is another important lesson that we learned, again, related to the media, is how important the TV cameras being there were. It just kind of reminds me of the Kyle Rittenhouse one and all this. If the cameras weren't there, we would not know anything about the truth. I mean, they would have completely flipped this over. So just, it's a small thing. I guess we learned the importance of cameras.
By the way, this is... Whenever people talk about history, I always have that in mind, that, for example, I think my grandpa used to make that joke to me, that, with the Iranian Revolution, we have video cameras, there's interviews, there's everything. And there is so much debate on the history of what happened, right? And I genuinely believe video and cameras and all that, movies, because I mean, this is such a huge jump, but I believe this is a good case study that proves how much of a better of a medium recordings are to, like, I'm sorry, but a TV adaptation, a TV novel, a TV adaptation of Anna Karenina, in my view, is better than Anna Karenina. And how much more it can do in many ways, because, I mean, fiction is different, but especially when it comes to truth and knowing the truth, when you have cameras, the tone, everything. Because as you say, they exactly, as they are doing right now, as we mentioned, she's going to appeal, and her lawyer, Elaine, whatever her name is, went on TV and said that, this court was about, they allowed so many things that had nothing to do with the case inside. It was, I'm going to read you some articles. They're completely rewriting what happened. Listen, I mean, even the way they're telling the truth in this article is so biased. As you saw, it started with a paragraph of an appeal, then it briefly mentioned the judgment, then it misrepresented the judge's activity, which there is a legal cap, there is a statutory cap in the state level. They said judge reduced it, as if judge, the jury, they are so biased. I'm gonna come in here now. And listen to this. Hurt had demanded 100 million in a countersuit against Depp, in which she argued she was defamed by his press agents, who described her allegations as an abuse hoax, which she didn't win. She didn't win on this abuse hoax thing. She won on another thing. Capitalizing on the #MeToo movement, she succeeded on only one count and was awarded 2 million. So they're talking about the countersuit. Naturally, you should start with the suit. Who starts with the countersuit first?
A countersuit that hasn't even been... Oh, no, sorry, the countersuit. Sorry, appeal in my head for a split second. My bad.
Depp's lawyers convinced the jury that he did not assault her. Convinced the jury. It's not jury decided here. It's not jury, she succeeded. It's, I mean, let me find the other. Look, when Depp wins, jurors in a Virginia court ruled in favor of thing, but here Depp's lawyers convinced the jury that he did not assault her, and that her allegations of domestic abuse in a Washington Post article defamed Depp, and did so with, quote unquote, with malice with malice or knowing that the claim was false. In a statement afterwards, which made no mentions of the reported appeal, Heard expressed her disappointment. She said, quote, "I am even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women," as if she's ever thought about any other person than herself in her life. Oh, fuck off. Heard added, "It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when women who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It's a setback, the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. It's a setback for all the liars in this world who thought maybe we could get away with it.
Seriously.
But now we can't. It's a setback." Oh.
Were you going to make points about precedent later on, or should I make my point about precedent now? Or
No, go
she
ahead.
kind of, you know, there were, well, I'll leave it actually connected to bad faith. Sorry, the
All right,
rising.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then dozens of, all right, like Bloomhofer. Oh, listen. Lisa Bloom, a high-profile U.S. lawyer who represented women whose sexual harassment claims led to the dismissal of the Fox News anchor Bill O'Reilly. I'm sorry, what is this news story about? Like, I thought you're announcing the result of this court. Now first you start talking about appeal, then you're talking about what Heard feels is going to be the ramification, because we all know she's a great, social scientist. She could speak on the ramification of this great thing. Now we are talking about like Fox News and Bill O'Reilly, and shows another lawyer who has some experience in representing some other people, predicted the Heard Depp case would be decided on appeal. Speaking to BBC Two's Newsnight, she said, "I want to emphasize that this is not the end. This is not the end, because most defamation cases are really decided on appeal." She added, "I've handled a number of defamation cases, including representing Janice Dickinson against Bill Cosby, when we had to argue 2 appeals in that case, both of which were successful. I think this is an inconsistent verdict. How can it be that Amber Heard was defamed when Johnny Depp's lawyer said that her allegations were hoax, and yet Johnny Depp was also defamed when she said she was representative of domestic violence?" So another person who brings up this fucking intelligent argument that, oh, how could it be? How could the judgment
and
have
there is
nuance?
an explanation, apparently, right?
Why do they have nuance?
There's apparently
there's
quite a
clear,
simple explanation. Maybe you want to share it again.
The simple explanation being that the lawyer was saying that the specific quote by the lawyer that was used to successfully used in the successful bid by Amber Heard against Johnny Depp was referring. He said that when they were staying in that hotel thingy, I'm paraphrasing. She and her friends first tried to do it with they first tried to do something. It didn't catch the attention. So her and her friends then went to the room, messed up the room, and then they talked to the lawyers and talked to a publicist or something. So there is a number of different specific things said in an order. Like they say, first they go to the lawyer, then they go to that, then they go to this, then they get their story straight with the lawyer, and they manage to get it like some attention. That's what the lawyer says. But there is so many specific things. So in that specific case, it was relatively easy. And it seemed, as many people have said, it seemed like there may have been, because the juror.
Yeah, hold on. Before you get into that, before you get to that.
Wait,
I know, but this is like a second part, because there are 2 parts of it. Yeah, I know. But putting that aside, actually, the first explanation is that, based on what I understand, there was a specific set of events, like you just said, that Johnny Depp's previous liar had called a hoax, or like said that they were like put together in like a way. But those specific set of events were not argued to, I guess, convincingly by the Johnny Depp team, or not at all, to have actually happened that way. So that specific set of events, that's what they found on. Then the second one is exactly what you're saying, which is the funny part. They somehow they don't believe anything that the jury, they don't trust the jury's decision when it came to how they ruled for Johnny Depp. But for this one, they really trust. Oh no, but this one the jury got right, apparently. Whereas another explanation is that there's a chance, they're saying, this is speculation, that there was one jury who wasn't, 100%
Or
sure, and
some
for them to
jury.
have unanimous thing, they kind of threw a bone. Now, this is speculation, but the same people who don't trust the jury at all to have, done things properly, you can also apply the same thing to Amber Heard's thing. So maybe that one is
No,
actually
that's the
wrong.
thing. That's why the decision in the end doesn't matter. And for me, it didn't matter because I don't put my full faith in the U.S. legal system because I'm not a child. Because I know that one day it might, bite me in the back. And by the way, I don't want to. Some people are like, I don't want to say that this like the way they cover it doesn't matter. It's all like they're writing for themselves. In the end.
Exactly.
They're writing for the.
Who reads the Guardian? If they would have seen the numbers that people were doing on YouTube, they would have flipped at the Guardian. They'll be like, "What? Your video can get more than 10,000 views? I thought there was a YouTube cap. You weren't allowed to go past 10,000 views." They'd be shocked. I swear, if they see those views, they're like
Russian bots.
Yeah, Emily D. Baker.
Emily D. Baker is just Russian bots are trying to, prop up increased conflict within American community by pitting women against men. That's all it is.
Exactly.
I mean, do you think it's all like organically people attracted to a drama of a superstars?
And from the beginning, I said it. This person says, "Oh, like, there should be an appeal, and then we'll find out." It didn't even matter if Johnny Depp won. Like, from the beginning, Johnny Depp had won from like the second week, pretty much. This was just bonus, the fact that he actually won it. Because in the public court of opinion, he had won quite decisively, really. So he's probably going to start getting his roles back, even if he hadn't really won the suit. Now, the fact that he even won the trial is just the cherry on top of the cake. But he kind of had two battles, and Amber Heard also had two battles. And the one, the public opinion, she lost quite badly, except, for some of these writers.
Yeah. I mean,
who didn't watch it, it really doesn't seem like they watched any of it. And then, you can still have a little bit of an opinion if you don't watch some of the trial, but some of these people really look, I mean, one we know for sure, and Brie will get to her, that she didn't watch any of it whatsoever. We have receipts. Literally, she tweeted that out. So
yeah, I mean, look,
we'll get to her. Sorry, continue with your article.
I think, I don't know if they watched or not, but I think either way they would have wrote the same articles and had the same cover. Not the case, not Brie that we're going to talk about later, but the most of them I feel do serve an audience. And to serve that audience, that's the article they would have written if this was the outcome. So.
And I think they probably didn't watch it much because watching that court didn't serve like their takes and the article that they were going to write. It would just like counter the ideas in their heads. So they're probably just like, even if they saw it, I can't see them being too hooked on it. Because it was always, any moment you turned on, it was just looking good for Johnny Depp and bad for Amber Heard, like 90% of the time. So if you're Team Amber Heard, there's not really much to watch and, be entertained
99%. Exactly. Well, then I came across this article. I'm going to read the title and some of the quotes from it. It's fascinating because some of the shit you read. This was, by the way, under #MeToo movement. So this was the... What does the Heard-Depp verdict mean for the #MeToo movement? What does it mean? What does it mean? Many fear the jury's verdict will discourage victims of the abuse from coming forward, but experts see the case as atypical. Oh, so the article actually starts surprisingly with like saying that, okay, some people say that, but experts say no, it's just one case, it's like, why would it,
and I agree with that. It is an atypical case. Most people aren't Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah, but I think it might have some effect in the way media portrays some cases. That's all I think. But, And then they summarize the thing, what's going on, the suit, the counter suit and all that. And then it comes to this. With regards to #MeToo, the outcome of these proceedings, which were supposed to be about First Amendment free speech rights, but quickly spiraled into a tardy referendum on Depp and Heard's relationship. She's talking about the defamation. That's why it's First Amendment. Might not be that black and white. Tarana Burke, the founder of hashtag Me Too. First of all, Me Too had a founder? When did that happen? I thought it was just women coming out saying that Me Too, anyway, I didn't know it had a founder. Disagreed that this trial's outcome would end the movement. So far, I agree with her. This trial wouldn't end the movement. That makes sense to me. But then, quote, the Me Too movement isn't dead. This system is dead. Berk wrote on Twitter, this is the same legal system that you all have been relying on for justice and accountability for decades, to no avail. When you get the verdict you want, the movement works. When you don't, it's dead. When Weinstein went to jail, it was Me Too is winning. When Cosby came home, it was what a blow. Me Too is losing, Berk continued. I feel like Berk at this point should have been separated from her Twitter account and been taken to a doctor, but she continued. So, yeah, by the way, do you remember in the last article we read from one of the people who represented Cosby's victims? That turned out great, didn't it? Anyway, she also pointed to how hashtag Me Too had helped many survivors come forward. In the meantime, millions of people who have never been able to utter the word "it happened to me" have released the shame that wasn't theirs to carry in the first place. The movement is very much alive, all capitalized, Berk said. So I kind of agree with the sentiment that larger movement, but chill the fuck out, Berk. I feel like maybe it's time for the founder to sort of step aside, let the CEO take over or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, listen, the Me Too thing was one specific thing. Like, just because Me Too goes away doesn't mean that now sexual harassment or something, is okay, or domestic violence is okay. I mean, the Me Too was a particular kind of campaign around sexual harassment, really a lot to do with celebrities, especially, and high-profile people, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Me Too doesn't represent all sexual abuse and all sexual harassment, domestic violence all over the world.
I think it was I would say because it did reverberate around the world, and it started from, I would say, sexual harassment of women in media companies mostly, but then it became sort of about the general tendency of men in positions of power, or women in positions of power. As for example, there was a couple of there was Asia Argentina, I believe. She got outed as somebody who had done that.
But my point was just that it was a particular campaign around this issue, right? If that campaign goes away and it's not so popular, doesn't mean that this issue went away or this issue isn't important.
She's not saying the issue. She's not talking about the
I'm
issue.
talking that.
She's talking about the movement.
Yeah.
No, but their argument is that, okay, the issue is still there, but this type of thing take the wind out of its you know what I mean? Like it makes it slower, it causes it to stop. I don't think so. I don't think Amber Heard making a fool of herself and being a liar hurts other people, because I think hopefully because of Me Too and other things, now we have reached a position that we are able to look at a man or a woman and judge what they say based on evidence and what they say, not based on the fact that, because back in the days there was significant number of people, oh, it's a woman, she's lying, she's a stupid, oh, it's a man, he's a pig, he's a liar. Now hopefully because of Me Too and other things, we are in a place where we can just focus on evidence. But I don't think some woman turning out to be a liar or some man turning out to be a liar is hopefully not gonna suddenly we're gonna be like, oh shit, no, we are back, all the women are liars. Because Amber Heard lied, the women are liar now. I think all women are liars.
No, I agree. I completely agree. And by the way, you want to put your microphone on your tie? No, I disagree. But I mean, she probably did damage that particular Me Too campaign because she tried to piggyback on that. She tried to write that campaign. But she ended up lying about it. And just my point is, this is one campaign over this issue, right? I mean, if it goes away, perhaps we learn, we learn more about it. Just like you're saying, I mean, we go and learn more to, to not deny any woman who says that, but also not straight away accuse any man who says that. So maybe we reach bit more of a nuanced thing, and there can be new movements and new campaigns. This was just one particular campaign that perhaps, she probably did damage that particular campaign with her lies.
We kind of Tarana Berg, we kind of agree with her. But
I think the three of us are trying to agree here, but
the tweets of her are so funny though. No, but I would agree with you. It damaged it a bit, but I don't think, to be honest, as again, if we are Marxist and if we believe in a structural and material world, I don't think it really mattered that much. I don't think it mattered that much, but I think it was a good story though. Somebody who had lost their life because of false allegation got it back. That's nice.
Yeah.
And yes, some people probably gonna think worse of me too because of her activities for sure. But those people were looking for excuses anyway. Those people were probably people who are Googling cases of women lying about abuse, and they would get, what I'm saying? Yeah, like, I don't think we should over exaggerate. And I think that's what Tarana was saying. But Tarana, I feel like she was so bombarded by people telling her that Me Too is over, Me Too is over. She was, no, it's alive. Fuck
and
you.
The precedent, this always happens with anything. The whole segment on The Rising was about this. Oh, the precedent that this says, the precedent. I wish things set more precedent and people remembered them, then the Iraq war wouldn't seem like a joke right now. And Bush wouldn't be playing around on mainstream media. But yeah, even something that big, we forget. So chillax with the precedent thing. And at the same time, Amber Heard, yeah, precedent legally is different. I meant in society in general, and not legal, but in general, that this happened. Now everybody can act.
About the legal.
No, I get that, but now everything can happen just because. No, people forget. In 6 months, they're gonna forget. In a few months, they're gonna forget about this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And secondly, I mean, she was lying and all this. They found that she was lying. So what should they've done? Should you still support Amber Heard just to not set a bad precedent going forward? I feel like whenever you bring up that argument, you're not acknowledging the fact that she had seemingly, based on what everybody had seen, she lied quite a bit and twisted the story quite a bit. So, what should we do? Because the precedent, okay, we know you didn't commit this crime. We're still gonna have to put you in jail because then otherwise people in society are gonna think that you can just go commit crimes, you won't be put in jail. But yeah, thankfully, I guess in this case, maybe you could say people don't have any memories. I mean, the Iraq war, folks, the Iraq war seems to be forgotten from people.
To be fair, I feel more people will remember this than the Iraq war. I'm not kidding.
But man, this goes away too. I mean, we get obsessed.
How many people do you think? Wait. How many people do you think remember Cambodia's bombing? How many people remember Jackie Kennedy and John F. Kennedy getting married? I know more people remembering Jackie and Johnny's marriage.
You do, but still, it would still not be as hot as it is right now, and we might remember it, but we won't be thinking about it directly and all this. Yeah. You're right. Some of these, they still stay with us to an extent, like the O.J. Simpson one, kind of, when you make
no judgment, by the way. I remember Batman's first appearance is better than anything in my life. So, no judgment. I'm just saying that's human nature.
Yeah.
But I came to, this is from somebody we've read articles before, and I kind of was a big fan, but this was really disappointing. So was it really asking too much for Amber Heard to be listened to without prejudice? Gabby Hinsliff. Johnny Depp's legal team left the jury with a stark choice: believe it all or believe nothing. Life's not that simple. Well, I agree with that to an extent, but the lawyer team didn't do that. That's the legal standard for that. And you could argue standard. I could even understand if they said Johnny Depp's, if, for example, Johnny Depp may, in some of the situation, he was the asshole-ish guy. But that wasn't what the case was about.
Yeah.
The case was about defamation regarding domestic abuse, as in physical. I know a lot of people are trying to add emotional and psychological abuse to shit right now, but I'm sorry, no, fuck you. Two physical objects. I know for some people's brain it's very difficult. Two physical objects hit each other in domestic abuse. Yeah, in the other cases, it's just sound. It's sound. You can go. You can move.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
right?
necessarily go. I mean, you can be abusive towards a person without hitting them all the time. You know, you can be abusive towards someone who works around you, and you know, be abusive without hitting them every single time. It's just a different thing. Abusive is not good either. I mean, let's say you have like, you know, someone in your house and stuff, or someone you work, you're always abusive towards them. It's just being abusive. It's not physical violence. It's being abusive. Oh, I just walk past you and I just, you know, you're in my house, I have superiority over you, and I just say bad stuff to you, say bad stuff to you
that's
non-stop.
not domestic abuse.
That's okay. I'm not saying it's domestic violence. I'm just saying abuse can also be bad too if you're all the time badly treated. That's the only point I was trying to make. So it was about domestic
violence. This was a case about domestic violence. If you're gonna count, if we count abuse, I was talking about the legal definition.
No, I understand.
But but that is a different thing, and I can get up and you're going to talk about, for example, a father abusing their children. That's different. I accept that. But besides that scenario where you have to live, or your husband and wife, obviously, but then again, like if your husband is bad mouthing you, or if you are bad mouthing your husband, or your wife is bad mouthing you, you can leave.
Yeah, you can try to leave some situations. So here at work, people are saying, exactly. Amber Heard, that's a good one. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, that's the good point.
Bangladeshi housewife, that is forced to, if she leaves her home, she might get murdered or she dies of starvation on the streets.
Exactly. I was trying to bring that kind of nuance. So let's say people you hear, they feel like their boss and stuff is abusive at work. And many do leave, but maybe it'll take 3 months until you find another job. So you can't that easily just get up and leave from any abusive situation. That's the point I was trying to make also.
Well, I'm sorry, but people who are so upset and leftist and always nag all the time should have the courage of their conviction and follow through sometimes, I feel. I'm sorry, but
but this is not only about leftists. It's not only about leftists. I mean, most people aren't even political.
Yeah, I agree. No, but most people would nag about their jobs. That, in my experience, I've never.
No, I know about your experience. Okay, it's not. I'm just saying hypothetically, if there was one, you can't just get up and leave from your job immediately. So I'm saying it might take a few months until you get and leave. So my point is that, in any abusive situation, you can't just, pack your bags and go and do something else.
Two things. For one, I disagree. I think we are stretching the term abuse to a extent that I'm not sure if it's right. I don't know what an abusive boss means. Secondly, I think if you're middle class and you live in most Western
so you
countries,
see, now you're adding qualifications.
Okay, but
if you're middle class, if that was just the point I was making, because originally you were speaking very generally.
All right, fair enough. No, I was just I'm not counting people who are working, who are wage dependent on a food level. But if you have to just wait a couple of months and you can go on unemployment and source some sort of social security. But yeah, you're right. I'm being a bit of a dick. So
it's okay. And your microphone, did you move it onto your tie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
And your cables and stuff, they're nice and okay. Speak now.
I think. Hello, how's it going?
Yeah.
I'm an asshole.
Tap your microphone. Sorry. Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, folks. But I think now you have much clearer sound.
I feel like our show is devolving into you proving me being a dick like every other segment. It's just, okay, but now another reason for thinking Sam is a dick. Look at the way he talks. Just generalization. Look at it. I was on a roll, man. It's a bad article, but the article, I don't want to talk about it.
Sam, don't be sad, okay? Grow up and do it. Just because I interrupted a few times, but now you can't read anymore?
No, because you were, it's not about the interruption. It's about because you were right. And that's worse than anything. When you're right, I fucking hate it. Yeah. Anyway,
so I should have been wrong, just like the Amber Heard trial. This should have been wrong in order.
Set a wrong precedent, right? No, but it's a pretty again, it keeps the same feeling as Breeze. It's very long, so I'm not going to read. But for example, there's this overemphasis on mentioning that the jury, which was 5 men and 2 women, kept coming back
I'm
to that
surprised
number
that
of times.
didn't come out more. I'm surprised people didn't bring that
That's
up
true,
more.
that's true.
I was surprised Bree and like others didn't bring it up more, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't capitalized on that more. But the article, for example, they go into detail about Johnny Depp, the video of Johnny Depp being harsh and the cabinet thingy, but nothing about Amber Heard's recording and admitting punching him and all that shit. It's so weird the way they pick and choose. And as you say, it's clearly either they haven't seen it or, I mean, they or as I sometimes, my conspiratorial mindset, which is probably wrong, sometimes thinks maybe they're just doing it on purpose.
Yeah, no, you're
But
right.
as we just found out, I'm wrong about most things. So,
but I mean, there was a lot of watching to do. It was every single day. I mean, I don't know when we're gonna transition to Bree, but like Bree brings the whole trial down to like reading that op-ed and the sentence over and over again. And I think yesterday we were talking like over the phone. I was like, she makes it seem like there was no trial or something. Like for 6 weeks they were just rolling their thumbs, in the court case. Like everybody was just having, just sitting there for fun. Yeah. Like they were discussing all these things.
But before going to Bree, because I think it's now time to go to Bree. But before that, I just want to say I didn't watch the full Colin Kurtz video, but she was losing it. She was not happy, was she?
Yeah.
I just watched a couple of minutes, and she was like Tarana, what was it? Tarana Burke.
Yeah.
She was like, I've had it with my mainstream, and I was like, yeah, you are like babies. I'm gonna fucking. It was so funny.
Yeah.
But what was she referring to? Which channel?
Just the mainstream media's general
CNN
coverage.
stuff?
Yeah, they were like, this was here the whole time. You guys didn't want to touch it and all this, and then then all we YouTube people took it on and all this, and now you're trying to come late to the party without any of the facts or anything and just talk crap.
Are they still in the TV like CNN, Fox and stuff? Are they on Johnny or Amber or anything like that?
I haven't seen much.
No.
I mean, I think they also surprisingly stayed
CNN,
away from it.
Yeah. No, but the few things
Did I say
CNN?
I just maybe that was I don't know exactly which outlets she was talking about.
No, sorry, I dropped something, but I don't know what. Weird. No, CNN. From what little, sorry.
What the hell are you doing?
Sorry, I just dropped something. Yeah, sorry. I thought I dropped it.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to find that spot and cut it out. Or I guess you guys, everyone can see Sam in his underwear.
Oh, shit, did I? Fuck, I forgot the cat. It's on my underwear. It's hot in here. But yeah, all right. So no, but what I saw little from CNN and stuff, it seemed like they were reasonable to be honest. Very little. They were staying away from it, but the little they covered was reasonable.
I think especially the articles, maybe she was mainly referring to a lot of these articles perhaps and stuff.
Oh, so apparently Fox is pro Johnny though. Apparently, I don't know if that's the case, but I've heard.
Oh, I'm sure it is. And I mean, there was one thing that made that like Bree brought up or something. Like I think like the GOP's like official Twitter account tweeted about Johnny Depp as soon as she won. And I mean, they're just a lost
That
cause.
Makes sense though. That's good.
No,
That's
I know what does that
press secretary. That's the press secretary.
Pushing it a bit though. What does that have to do with the GOP?
You're trying to get normies. You're not. Most people care about this type of shit.
It just sometimes, even I guess I'm too naive that this is what all politics is all about. But you would think that you would try to be a bit more cute about it, not like as soon as you win, but like a tweet with a picture of him up there,
Johnny,
like as if he just won like a Republican seat or something. So what are you celebrating?
Man, when Dr. Oz is running for the Senate, you gonna tell me this is not as important?
True.
This is not as crucial.
Shit, maybe Amber Heard for Senate.
Oh, she would be great with Lauren Boebert. White trash, two white trash. Oh my God, the white trash caucus. That would be great.
Okay, anything else, or should we move on to Brie and the Rising? I don't know why I can't remember the Rising today.
I think it's mostly Brie, to be honest.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
true.
let's move
Actually,
on
their
to
guest
Brie.
was good too. Yeah, we'll talk.
Oh well, yes. So much details, I keep forgetting. Let's move on.
All right, Sam, let's finally talk a little bit more about Brie. So as everybody know, Brie has joined the Rising, and I'm feeling a bit confused because I don't think I'm the only one who has this impression where Brie sounds and seems different Rising compared to her own podcast, but I guess, two different settings, so it makes sense. But then I was also thinking, has she always been like this, but it just in the different context and circumstances, it comes out differently? I mean, hopefully we'll get to some of the comments sharing, of course, it's not like a scientific method picking out comments from the Rising video in the comment section on YouTube, but I don't know. I don't even know. Has Brie always been like this, or did she act weird on the show? I feel like maybe she shared some clues actually in her own interview. I think you picked up on that on the Bad Fate podcast.
No,
But
no.
Oh, no, you didn't?
No. Frankly, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Brie? Who's Brie? The Hill? I don't know what you're... I only spend my free time watching French new movie cinemas from Jean-Luc Godard, and then I spend my, free time. It's, what normal people do. I read Odysseus and Iliad, by Greeks. Sometimes, if I if I want to have some, I'm a bit naughty. Yeah. I read a bit of Cicero and Plutocrat.
Or do some gardening, maybe.
No, I have gardeners, obviously. This is what you're talking about. You freak. No. Sometimes, for fun, you take a stroll through a garden, of course. But no. And while you do that, you take Lord Byron in your hand and you read his poetry as you go through. Because this is not the type of thing podcast. YouTube. Next thing you're gonna say, I'm watching cartoons on YouTube. None. Oh, please.
Okay, that was an impromptu sketch that I wasn't even aware of, but I feel like it worked. I got immediately where you're going with. I was confused for a split second. Thank you for warning me. When I quickly got what was going on. I told you I'm horrible with immediate first reactions and things like this. I don't know why.
I wanted to catch you off guard with the whole.
Has she always been like this, or does she come up weird here, or am I even being extra picky over a few videos? But I feel like any video of her on the Rising you click, there's some of that in it. And what is some that I'm talking about anyway? Hopefully we'll unpack, because it's probably a bit of ramble, but
she talks about it on her interview with the video game, whatever.
With the gentleman with 260,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he's the guy who I love to hate. It's just gave me so much joy when you find somebody so pretentious and so up their own ass. But I felt from two, and his videos are fucking long. I watched 2 videos of his, and it was like 3 hours. Like I'm talking, so I'm not gonna I can't do it like. This is nonsense. Like you can't.
And his name was what? FD Signifier. FD Signifier. Like yeah, so people know who we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do a whole Adorno. Go read all his shit. But she talks about how I think there is a difference between her tone on the Hill compared to her interview thing. That's for sure.
To be fair, makes sense, I guess.
Sure, that for sure makes sense.
Trying to be as fair as I can.
Then, in that interview, I don't know if you got that far in it, she talks about how she feels frustrated because whenever she's doing radars or whatever, she has to internally edit herself because some of the words that she might seem as shorthands might not seem as shorthands to other people. But I think that frustration comes across in some of her Hill videos. For example, the interview with the Republican guy,
I haven't seen.
You can,
So, are you saying there's
no.
like an inner battle going on in her? So, like, there's like one part of her saying "say this word," another part saying that word, and it's like coming out with a mixed reaction.
That's what she said in an interview, that she feels conflicted because she's a lot of heat, she said, from people saying that why did you do a radar in which you explain dog whistling but didn't say the dog whistle, say that Tucker Carlson is a dog whistler. And she was saying that, well, I was saying it because I wanted to get my message across to these people, but at the same time I was feeling like, why do I need to change my language to get across to these people? And frankly, I'm gonna just say my main thesis of this thing. I think this internal conflict is I think that's why I love to hate the new guy as well. And frankly, Brie and some other people, again, I don't know what they think they're doing. They seem to think that they're engaged in and even the guys at the Vanguard, who we really like as well, like they seem to be engaged in like oh, this is like, they talk about other people's activity, like this is almost the exact quote, but I'm paraphrasing obviously. They like, oh, this is not something I would do, or this is not somebody I would support because I don't think this would be the best reflections on the progressive movement, and this is not the society that I want to ideally okay, who gives a shit about this? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know. This is the feeling I got from our interview with Christian Parenti. Just, can we talk about real life? It's like, who, and this move, what are you talking about? There is no left. Like, that's, again, Chapo Trap House guys, I think more, and I'm going to be critical of them later, but they are so much more like, there is no left. What are you talking about when you talk about left movement, left? Oh, then there is this, and sometimes right. Sometimes they talk about the right movement, like the video game guy. Oh, that there is a pathway from the conversation to action. No, there isn't. I mean, I don't think so. But anyway, it's just this whole, they think they're doing really important stuff, and like, you know, intellectually they're engaging in a sort of a battle versus
well, Brie really thinks on the rising, especially because I think in that same video she even said
that's why
she thinks the audience is mainly like right wing or more Republican leaning. I think I heard her say that conservative. Sure. So she's trying to, like, you know, do the side of the left here and bring those points.
In an interview she did with some bald Republican guy who I don't know, it did really come across, because she did, and it's like in that interview, I like it. It was a reminiscence of British interviews where the British interviewer's job is to, whatever you say, just be an asshole. Yeah, you think that? What about this? Huh? Well, how do you explain this then? I mean, okay, you say that about the other guy, but what about you, asshole? Like, I prefer it for an interview.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this whole, it's just so boring when people I think like that. That if you're not doing actual political action, all the marketing, all the other stuff is not, just marketing.
No, but her approach, I mean, I think this comment here, like, kind of is very good, actually. This is what I'm going to read right here, just a beginning. Brie is getting very challenging to listen to anymore. She's smart and lots of times I agree with her, but can we get back to conversational takes and just a tad bit of listening? She's always prepared with very long talking points and treats this show like a personal courtroom. I think this person kind of nailed it.
Wait, I think there is a bit in the long, okay, I said that in the beginning because that's the main content. I think I disagree with her. That comes like this whole, you know, the idea that, oh, for example, gaming chat rooms lead to gamers. That's the substantive disagreement there, right? And I think right now with this message sort of, I think, touches on both. But now we are moving on it. What I want to focus most of my time on is, what the fuck is wrong with her presentational skills? And, you know, exactly. First of all, long-winded radars that are almost nonsensical.
Yeah, is everyone's radar 8 minutes long? How long are Robbie and Kim's radars usually?
No, I don't think, I think the length is the same. It's 15 minutes for all of them, but it's the segment.
Yeah.
But Yeah, but it's just connecting
Mhm.
anything to anything, like, oh, the gun violence, the Amber Heard, the Johnny, that comes to
And she
this, the
literally
trans.
does that in one of the videos.
In two of them, I would say,
Yeah.
to be the one,
About
free speech
Republicans,
under
yeah.
threat. Free speech under threat was the most weird. And then
I
again,
honestly
this is
didn't get it, the
presentational
point.
skill. The point was that Republicans are hypocrites, but the point is that Republicans are not hypocrites because they never gave a shit about freedom of speech. That was never their fucking issue. That was like what do you think conservative right was worried, or KKK? Oh, we are hanging black people, but freedom of speech, that's a big one for us. That's a line we don't
Well, I
cross.
mean,
So
nowadays you
that's not
hear though
they're not.
Republicans and stuff kind of talking
but
about and using as a point.
use it. Yeah, but that's like, again, like,
Yeah.
are you trying to hypocrisy burn a racist?
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to do? So that's, or I'm racist, I'm using the most extreme examples. And then again, I want to focus mostly on presentational skills. The whole condescension and, oh, these guys, they don't understand it, and they don't understand it, they are targeting the wrong people. And then Robbie is like, some people on the left, or people on the left, are not as vocal about the ACLU. She's like, what do you mean about the people on the left? Like, she has this, I'm sorry, but she has this sort of a big sister, sort of mother attitude towards everybody. Like, let me tell you, and as somebody who has had a sister, I fucking hate it. It's not nice. Don't do this to people.
But you didn't get this vibe
this
on her
attitude
show,
that,
though.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
No, because this interview,
The dynamic's
last
different.
week I said, last week I said that last week or 2 weeks ago, I said, I hope Brie interviews everybody all the time. And I'm just going to change that by one word. And I'm going to wish that Brie just does interviews all the time. But yeah, it's just that video, the one about, I'm going to read the title, Free Speech Under Threat from the Right. And the one about ban Gulk. Oh my God, this one was the worst. Ban gun culture, not guns, Briahna Joy Gray. In this one, she literally has a talking point on the screen. I hope you put the screen. And it's all about, can we all get along? No, Brie, we can't. I mean, no, what they're talking, like, oh, I want to have a really good discussion about gun culture. Why can't we? Yes, there is no proof that games are doing this, but they have been proved to desensitize, which, by the way, not conclusively at all. Even desensitization, which desensitization, when you define it specifically, doesn't really mean anything. Like, oh, who gives a shit? Like, if you watch a movie, like, if you're not a child who has lived in a fucking cave, you become desensitized, because, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, and I don't think, even from the movies, like, just thinking anecdotally, people see violence all the time in movies. The second you see it in the street in real life, it hits you different. So yes, I don't even, I mean, this is very anecdotal. I think a study could replicate this, but I mean, thinking about it anecdotally, I've seen the shock on people's face when someone just gets pushed or just punched, despite the fact that maybe they watched 3 superhero movies or murder movies the day before.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't know what's the science there. I've never looked into it, but
I
doubt
neither,
it.
But I definitely feel what you're saying. I think I agree. No, my point is more representation is, first of all, the just meandering and just zigzagging of topics that are not related and connecting them, and taking this big sister, big mother approach, changing of topics, jumping from one to the other, especially in these videos.
Yeah, and I'm surprised she's comfortable to do that when she's like the new addition to the show. She got comfortable quickly.
Yeah, man. And then, I mean, I told you there was one time, I think she was, I don't know, I think there's some drama between her and Kim going on. That's my view. But
her and Kim, sorry, keep on cutting you off.
A couple of times she was like, no, sorry. A couple of times, and thank you, Kim, for bringing this. And it was still, she was guest host, and Kim was like, I'm the host. Okay, yes, all right. Thank me. Yeah, it was just, it's that's what I hate, this fake niceness. And thank you for bringing that to our attention. But I'm going to talk about real issues that are not, I'm a left populist that is focused on, millions of people, not just one trans athlete or one Johnny Depp-Amber Heard drama.
To think that there isn't an unfair advantage being conferred here at the levels of elite competition. What else can you say? It's just clearly true.
I haven't followed this issue as closely as others. I'm, a left populist who's primarily concerned with the millions of Americans who can't afford food and are facing really high prices at the gas tank.
You say that with a certain amount of contempt.
Well, yeah, because
I think about this instead.
Look, no, not that people can care about this, but I do think that it's important to point out how these stories are weaponized to distract from the fact that the GOP has little to nothing to offer to Americans outside of these kind of cultural fights.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who did a show about dating on the left or some bullshit like that? Who was that person exactly? Who's the person who has a podcast? Have you talked to elder people? Like, do you have most of them don't consider podcasting really that much of it doesn't have that much of a gravitas. Jeez.
No, that's so funny. So I would have played the clip right now, by the way, so people would have heard that clip right now. Or Robbie literally tells him, you seem to have quite a bit of contempt there in your tone. That was like,
and again, if it was my 70-year-old great uncle or something, I get it. But somebody who, again, what do you do on your show? Like,
I mean, she says, I want to talk about things that materially affect millions of Americans and all this. Or like that thing that we were obsessed with, had so much fun. What's her name? Whoopi Goldberg. Making some random nonsensical thing about Nazis that has to do with millions of Americans starving. Brie was so into that topic, rightly so. Rightly so. If we could bring it back, or if Whoopi Goldberg could please give us some more material, we'd love it. But Brie was so into it that her guests didn't want to talk about it. And she was just like, no. But listen one more time to the exact 10 words that she said.
But she thinks that's the thing. She thinks everything she's interested in is extremely important, and she pathologizes it to death. Like the whole the gun culture thing. It was just the weirdest. No, but it comes from not that thing, but from this thing. And then, when she talks about the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard thing, she also pathologizes that to death. But when she has to, or topic she's interested, but if other people talk about it or want to use it as an analogy,
I'm so surprised
you rubes, you pay attention. And again, like, man, whatever, just again, I don't even necessarily disagree with some of her substance and stuff. And it's not just coming from her. Like Christian Parenti, by the way, in our interview mentions that sort of, he says that, for example, people don't focus on real issues when there is always a big divorce of a celebrity. But he didn't have this level of condescension. He didn't have this level of dismissal. And when he writes article, he has 120 footnotes for it. He doesn't just do videos. You know what I mean? He's not like us.
No, he's not trying to to be read Hegel and comment on Johnny Depp. He's genuinely focused on Hegel. His approach was very different, and he doesn't surprise me. But Brie actually surprised me. If you asked me 2 months ago, this trial is gonna happen, which YouTuber would be into it? I would be like, Brie is for sure gonna be into this, and she's gonna bring guests and talk about all the genuinely all different interesting aspects. But they were there. But nothing, very surprising, and like it looks like she's fighting herself though too. It looks like she's into it. Like, I'll put the tweet up here where she's like trying to very quickly get all the information from people, and people in the tweet are like,
what is the tweet?
The one I sent you, where she's like trying to get.
Should I read it? I have it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, read some of it.
If you put it up, I haven't been following it, but can someone explain in 240 characters how the court could find Heard's ASC article was defamatory if it's also found Depp's statement that Heard's accusation were hoax was defamatory? Yes.
And then she has more.
240 words. Should I do? I really truly don't want to think about this for more than 5 minutes. I just want the lay of the land. Thanks all. Quick follow-up. In the original op-ed, she talks about sexual violence she endured earlier in life, but when alluding to more recent events that implicate Johnny Depp, only talks about domestic abuse. Did the court consider verbal, emotional abuse or only physical? I believe, from what I understand, they considered all.
Yeah, and my point wasn't about the specific thing she's saying. My point is what many people in response to that tweeted. They're like, listen, if you're interested, go watch it.
Yeah, we
or
can
like, if you're
explain
not interested, like, then stop it. It's like she's fighting against herself. She's like trying to repress this like part of her that's interested in the topic. Or even on the show, she tried to wrap up her conversation so long, and Robbie's like, well, sounds like we could talk about this forever. Like, we all seem to be into it. But yeah, it's like, seems like she's even fighting against herself maybe here to like not be into this story. Really weird interaction with the story.
I reread the part that really, I think, highlights your point. I really truly don't want to think about this for more than 5 minutes. I just want the lay of the land. I'm sorry if 5 minutes is not enough. I am so sorry. So again, I have that problem sometimes too. For example, especially in Iran, because I don't follow Iranian like news and stuff. Obviously, a lot of Iranians are into like Iranian celebrity news, right? And when they're discussing that, I'm out of the loop, right? So I'm like, oh shit, I can't. You feel out of the loop. You're partying with your friends. You can't contribute to a discussion. It's not nice. But I don't judge other. I don't want to think about it, but quickly tell me. Come on, tell me what happened. I mean, don't take my time, though. I said 5 minutes, 240 characters. I'm a left populist. I don't think about this shitty stuff usually. Go read fucking, I don't know. Go read Heidegger. Fuck off.
And she can't claim that she did this for her job, because if you did this for your job, that's some very that's very shitty prepreration for your job. So I wouldn't use I wouldn't use that excuse if that's the excuse floating. Brie, what'd you base your take on? Well, I base it on me bullying my Twitter followers to tell me what's going on. That's where my take comes from. Like,
I put out some really mean comments, about people who might have watched this. But let's talk about her. Yeah, the take she had on the video. Again, I reiterate, what is this connecting anything to anything? First of all, they had a great guest who, in a limited time she had, I think she perfectly and in the most congenial manner tried to reiterate that this is a specific case. I don't think it's going to have a huge impact.
Which I totally agree with. I totally agree with that. But
same here. And she also stated that if you look at the evidence, like she kept going back to this article as if the whole court. No, but if you read the article, and I'm like, this is just like the tweet you put, that is, the article only talks about domestic abuse. In the article, they talk about abuse. In the courts, when they talk about the abuse, do they mean the thing or that? Or did they mean this or that? And she's like, okay, yeah, the article, yeah, but then everything in the article is based on the evidence and 10 hours of blah, blah, blah. And then she goes on the precedent thing, which is the biggest nonsense. She's a goddamn lawyer. She went to Harvard and Yale, I believe. But what happens if somebody hearing you in a bar, overhearing you in a bar is not the same as you writing an op-ed about a public figure. There are different legal things for that. I mean, this was ridiculous. What if I have a cat next to me and the cat hears it from me, goes, tells my sister, and my sister tweets about it, and then Washington Post publishes that? What are you talking about? What are you suddenly going to this hypothetical random situations?
She either focused on just that op-ed, and you made this point yesterday. You're like, it's not like they showed this op-ed to the jury. They were like, yeah, take a look. All right, fine. Now go vote and come back. No, they spent 6 weeks or however time with many experts and all these people coming in to try and understand and connect and really unpack the article, unpack the damage, unpack all of these things. So yeah, they looked into it at least it was argued from multiple ways and multiple levels. It wasn't just like, oh, it says this. And then her other favorite thing is that, oh, but in the headline, it doesn't say Johnny Depp. No, the article was talking about me. Like, she was just married to Johnny Depp for 6 years. And I know in the beginning, she claims other people as well, but then goes into this. Oh no, yeah, no, the article was about, yeah, who knows? Who knows? She was married to Johnny Depp for 6
About
years,
her
right
ex-boyfriend
before
in high
this.
school.
About his ex-wife, because
Yeah.
before him,
who
he
she
was married
abused,
to a woman. So yeah,
who she
So-
beat the shit out of. No,
she kept
but
on going back in that. She's like, I don't see his name. I don't see Johnny Depp's name
look, man,
here.
I don't.
And then, as she
But
pointed
the
out, this
real-
article was written by lawyers. She's like, this article reads like it
ACLU.
was written by lawyers. Yep, you got that right.
Yeah. No shit, Brie. But no, I mean, look. To be honest, I don't want to. I hate it when people make like. To be honest, Tarana Burke did to make too much out of a single court case, like a system is dead or a system is now justified. But if there was any winner in this court case, to be honest, was the American judicial system. Frankly, I think that judge it was almost like, because you always read about so many court cases, and in reality, you find out like the Chicago 7, you read about the judge in that case, you read about the other judges, and you're like, in reality, judges are not like movies. This judge was like almost like a perfect movie judge. Like, it was unbelievably the court system, because usually I don't think it goes this well, frankly. There's usually not that much evidence of the bad guy and the good guy.
Yeah.
But this time, experts, the judge, the lawyers, everything went surprisingly. It was almost like if the legal system actually was good,
Yeah.
and not overwhelmingly prejudiced towards the poor, against the poor. Sorry. So yeah, I think she did. Yeah, it was very odd, her comments on this thing. And again, I don't even mind any of it so much as the condescension, because just. I feel the people who tend to be frankly condescending towards the uneducated people, or people who don't follow the right news or don't pay attention to the right things, they themselves are usually tend to be people who just know famous people's names, and they don't know that much substance themselves either. And there is always more to learn. So if you actually have read some of these big philosophers, you have followed some of the big issues, you know that majority of people who don't know about like maybe big issues or important people or that type of thing, it's because they're busy, or because they have somebody maybe something else in their life they pay attention to, like they do something great with their hand or something. I hate it. I hate the condescension. It's just this. I don't know. It really gets on my nerve. Maybe because while I've always been interested in left and important issues and all that bullshit, I've always been interested in drama and shitty comedy, shitty movies. But I joke about Kardashians and I don't watch them because I'm not interested, and I make fun of the people who do sometimes. But I genuinely don't mean any judgments there. I would watch like a reality show about somebody else, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I watch my own shitty version. I watch CW shows that are so shitty that it's beyond belief. And it just, that part really gets on my nerve when people are this condescending and, this, I focus on important.
No, I know. Sometimes my wife, she's like watching like a reality show or something, and she's like turns it down or something. She's like, yeah, I didn't want you to hear it and then come and say blah blah. I'm like, what do you think I'm watching? I was just watching someone talk about MMA.
No, but you
hours.
Probably have done it that she thinks.
But sometimes, but there's one show though, and I don't make fun of. I feel bad for the people, and that's The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I think there's severe human abuse and human rights violations going on in that show.
The only shows that's, by the way, I used to do this all the time, and now I'm controlling myself. Maybe that's why you're always harsher in something wrong that you do, and you see it in other people, you get really angry at them because you do it yourself. But I used to do it a lot, for sure. And my worst thing in Iran, they have these programs that are all about actually sort of a American Hollywood movie sort of thing. The interviews, especially in holy months or something, that they bring in somebody who's very poor but have something happen in their life, and then their life became good. Like, he was a teacher for many years. I had cancer. My mother died when I was 2. My father beat the shit out of me. But then One day I was working in the office and a good man passed me. He dropped his wallet. I didn't steal the wallet. I gave it to him and he gave me millions of dollars and now I'm rich. Or, like, and then at the end, like the whole story is just shit, suffering. And then suddenly a good moment happens and it goes back up. Like a mother who's lost their child in a war and then after 15 years, the child comes back, like suffering. I hated those so much. And my like grandparents would watch that and would get angry because I thought the whole show was constructed as a justification for suffering. So I hated those and I could never shut up about them. But I've learned that me talking about them doesn't change the world. And frankly, people need breaks from reality, just like as I do, or they need something that tickles them in a different way, maybe not break, whatever.
Or rewatching Sopranos, binge watching it, which is great.
Sopranos is quite high-end shit. So although I would say Sopranos is one of those shows, is a perfect mix between highbrow and lowbrow, because in my view, because
it is a terrific show. I'm just saying watching Sopranos doesn't really help advancing the material causes of the popular
Star Trek
left
certainly doesn't either. Star Trek certainly doesn't. Most of the episodes are pretty shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not into Star Trek, so I don't know, but I can believe that. So I don't know, what else do we have? You know, one thing on this segment, she said, like, Kim said something and Bree said, yeah, I kind of agree with you, but I didn't feel like they were saying the same thing. I don't know if you picked up on that sometimes. Like she says, I'm talking, Kim, like as Kim was saying, I would like to add that, but it was just something totally different.
No, she was saying she was agreeing with Kim that Democrats also don't. It was about that's a good place to talk about trans issues, and then her own interview with the guy, which I really want to talk about. Trans issues, again, she does this weird thing of, again, condescension towards the people that talk about the issue, and then like that's what I mean. Like they're talking about this issue. Again, I am somebody who doesn't watch. I hate fucking Olympics and all that. And then she's like, yeah, but maybe if they took money and prize out of competitions in that sense, then all competitions would have become like, okay, sure. But like, what does that have to do with this? These people wanted to become professional, as in paid. And I'm against that, as in, like, I don't think governments, like in Iran, it shouldn't be a state sponsored. If you want to do it, go ahead, do it, and privately, whatever. But, you know, it's what you're talking about. Does that have to do? And then Kim again brings it back to the issue. God bless Kim, man. I used to be a bit critical of Kim, but at least she sticks to the issue. She, you know, at least she's on, like, you can agree or disagree, whatever. It's on the issue. It's not just like, yeah, but what about if we got rid of the idea of competition as a whole and we just gave flowers to everybody and we said, swim? You know, yeah, sure, okay, but what? Well, yeah, I don't know.
Jesus Christ, yeah. And we sometimes jump from all kinds of issues and stuff too. So, you know, trying to be
trying to
self-aware here, but yeah, just the breathe thing, very, very short past 24 hours.
That was very. And then
really
shall we talk about the interview? I think it's good time
to So what was this interview about with something signifier?
Well, the guy, and then I went watch the voice with the Batman when he talked about, and another video of his. The guy is okay. Bree, you know, I've got this uncle thing going on, and I got this uncle title, which I didn't want, and I have many years of, you know, teaching high school kids, white, black. You know, I used to work in a school that was 65% or so white people, and, you know, not super white. I don't want to, I was supposed to do a PhD, but I dropped out, you know, because I thought, you know, if I want to just go argue there, I just go argue there. And, you know, what the real thing is that there's a network online. And there's a big segment of a male, white, young, unaffected youth. You know, and there's a network online. And when these people reach out, just wanting to know more, just want to know how to talk to girls, you know, I want to talk to girls. how to talk to girls, and then PewDiePie comes in and they go, and now high heel. It's over. Now
What's
they're
that
not.
about? What was PewDiePie?
Nah,
Why is that in the
Oh,
headline?
PewDiePie! Don't ask too many questions. It's not. It's there. It's there. Don't ask me to explain the causation. They ask about girls, and then PewDiePie comes in, and then Hitler. Yeah, Hitler. And as you know, hegemony. I mean, you might want to skip this because these words are too big. I have to explain them. So if you bros want to skip this part, I mean, this motherfucker was so condescending.
Is that how it
I
came
wanted to-
up? Guys, I couldn't watch that. I couldn't understand what was going on anytime I
There
tried
is
to
a
watch
bit.
it.
There's a bit.
So if
there's a
anybody else
bit-
watched it, let us know as well.
There's a bit in his video that he does this thing that, guys, I'm going to explain some sociological concept, very complex sociological concept to you. So if you want to skip ahead, you skip ahead, but you won't learn any big words like hegemony. Yeah, very big word. Any Iranian knows that. Like, what are you talking about?
Social sciences are not complicated. You might not know things because you can't know something until someone explains it to you. But complicated?
But you know the fucking vocabulary. The vocabulary of it is super easy compared to any other sciences.
There's
But
not
anyway,
too many special
Yeah,
ones.
and it's just the con.
But what's his shtick?
Cool
what is he
uncle.
about? What does he do? Does he help people?
I'm a cool uncle. I'm a cool uncle who you're at the field, you're trying to play football or basketball. Some boy comes up to you and says, psst, 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 you tried heroin? And I put my hand on your shoulder and I tell you, boy, don't try heroin. Come to me and come read about hegemony. Come on, man. It's just.
But tell me, what is he
that.
about? What's his thing? Like, what does he do on his channel?
To be honest, I've only watched 2 videos, but from the interview and the 2 videos I watched, he's another idiot who believes in the fact that content creation and these online debates matter and it can change minds. And his whole argument, his main argument was that there's a large segment of male unaffected youth that intersectionality scholars and research hasn't enough explored, which I could, to be honest, agree with to an extent. But he's saying that he's trying to do a content that counteracts people like Jordan Peterson, which we're going to talk about later, or PewDiePie. PewDiePie, I feel like he's not. I mean, he's misrepresented. I feel PewDiePie was a big gamer guy who. He was just to edge. In one of his videos, he talks about edgelords, and he argues that edgelords, PewDiePie was edgelords, the type of really comedy, like, it's kind of like, to be honest, it's like Eric Andre's comedy. It's creepy, like you do a comedy to get a reaction from people, from how, like he had these cats like doing Nazi thing or something. I don't know, like, he was a gamer. He was the biggest YouTuber for a long time, PewDiePie.
Okay.
But so like he's arguing in his video, he believes that content creation matters and can turn minds and can turn the unaffected youth to the crime. And he says that, and I quote, is that we usually see the end of it, like the shootings that have recently happened. So he's making a direct connection between these chat community. It's, this is nonsense, by the way. And I say that it's not that there is no connection between the two. I'm sure there be, but to say there is a causation is a big difference. If you say there is a causation between online chat rooms and these violence, then you have to admit that there is a causation between books and violence. All the people who are defending Muslims that, Muslim, there is so much anti-Muslim stuff. I'm sorry, but you can definitely then prove that Quran then led to violence, Bible led to violence. So this, like, if you accept that premise, which I don't, that there is a causational thing from writing and talking to action, then, that's his main argument. Then he tries to provide, I guess, a counterbalance through his content that he's trying to like to radicalize people, but it is an illusion. A lot of people on the left have Breaking Point, Secular Talk, even Vanguard people that, we are part of a thing and our thing is against the other thing. But he's to me, he seemed more of an actor than like Kyle Kalinske, like this guy seemed like an actor. This guy seemed like a pickup artist, he seemed like he had that thing of, high school and teaching young and unaffected youth. And I'm not saying that just gives me all the knowledge in the world, but it gives me something, I guess. It allowed me to connect with some people. And then, these edgelords, they think they're cool, but the edgelords are not that cool, He had an interesting reading on Batman and Joker and stuff as well. So
What did he say
does
there?
he talks about how they are all glorified by the edgelords because they are, they are above the law and beyond the law. But Joker is somebody who has embraced the thing, but Batman is a better version because he still wants to fight for whatever he's believed. He talks about nihilism. Basically, he uses this as an island. And then he brings in these other people who are like ex-radicals or ex-whatever things, the right fingers, and they're like, yeah, man, I remember I was young, and I just think if I was not exposed to, if I wasn't exposed to the writings of Norman Finkelstein, I would have turned out Israeli for sure. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it's just they're making such a big deal out of a bunch of kids talking online, basically.
I see.
And then Brie in her interview is so like in awe of, he didn't fucking finish his PhD even. I thought he finished. He doesn't have a PhD, and he's like, I don't have a PhD. I have mass. Is this like now we are just any asshole like, oh, I such an expert in that matter, bringing your expertise to popular. I'm so glad people are coming into the areas where nobody's talking about, these stuff, and why are they winning in the, it's just, but by the way, for the last 40 years, right wing correctly focused on its attention on taking over the judiciary in the United States, and now they're reaping the benefits. What did the left do for the last 40 years, talking about pronouns and language and representation? Why isn't there enough Black people? Why isn't there enough Iranian people in the media? Why isn't there enough Iranian women with no legs in the media? Jesus. And yeah, that's Jesus. Just, it was. So that's why I love to hate this guy. He seems so... I'm not smarter than you, man. I'm just some guy, I'm just this guy who tells you what is very obvious in a voice that is like, makes it sound like, it's a eternal truth that nobody had uncovered before.
I see. Yeah. I really don't have much to counter here or say to you. I think I agree with a lot what you're saying. And I'm glad that you careful, like 30 seconds. Yeah, no, his interview, honestly, I tried 5 times. I watched like 5 2-minute things. I never got what was the main thing, what we're talking about. And I just seen all that bad stuff about Brie, I wasn't in the right mindset.
I have one more point to make.
For sure. But I'm glad, you clarified the difference between causation and correlation. That's very important here when you're talking about these things. And even with correlation, you can go further and see, the direction of correlation, how it is and all that. So yeah, just because like, people who go shooting, maybe they also like video games and all that, doesn't mean that they're leading it, right? Like the Columbine kids, I guess there wasn't this kind of chat room or stuff going on. This kind of like Twitch style chat room, I believe, didn't even exist until like 6 or 7 years ago. So it is like a new phenomena. So whenever you're trying to like, put a lot of importance on something that is very new, well, then you have to look, has that thing been happening before? And if it has, perhaps it's not as strong as an explanation.
I have one big other points to make.
Please go ahead, though. I don't have. One last thing I wanted to say / ask you. So he's deterring people from politically and ideologically being right wing and moving to them left. He's not like, or is he like saving people from doing drugs and making bad mistakes?
No. I use that as a sort of a shorthand because in movies you always have that guy who's like, son, you don't want to do this. You're gonna regret it. Yeah.
So he's like making people go from the right to the left,
or not go to the right when they are so alienated by the world or whatever. And then this is actually ties well with my point that some of the people they criticize. One of them include Jordan Peterson, who we criticize, we make fun of all the time. I would say a pseudo social scientist for sure at best, and he's like somewhat and who do you think, and at one point he's condescension, and then condescension. Look, I'm gonna do the act. Okay, fuck it, I'm gonna do the act. You know, some of our friends, Bree, sometimes I feel like they haven't really read up on their critical race theory stuff. Like they haven't read a work of our sister Robin DiAngelo,
Oh, that
White
was hilarious.
Fragility. And then Bree's like, oh, I can see my audience going up in arms. And then that was the point, to be honest. I realized it's over with the Bree type, like us being like positive on Bree, because she was like, oh, I think I read her book, I think her book was misrepresented and people focused on the wrong things. I've also read her book. Her book is the most, it's the, I mean, Jordan Peterson is a scientist and a physicist compared to Robin DiAngelo. Robin DiAngelo is a hack. Robin DiAngelo is a self-deluded fool who's selling corporation and universities some sort of a self-flagellation ritual, which allows them to continue their disgusting behaviors and allows them to live with themselves in a world where they know they're on the top of the food chain. The idea that Robin DiAngelo's book had anything worthwhile to say about anything, a book with less references than a high school fucking essay, a book with more nonsense about race and class structure than anything I've read ever, probably. A book that it talks about workplace mandatory exercises without ever referring to the boss-employee relationship. And what? Like, really, what? You are criticizing people for not doing their reading? You who read Robin fucking DiAngelo? I'm sorry, but yeah, maybe you should go. I know people who read Hans Christian, they are far better and more educated. Fuck off. If you're going to be this condescending and this up your own ass about the whole like intellectual debate and shit, at least be Norman Finkelstein, at least be Christian Parenti, do your fucking thing. Robin DiAngelo, it's like people who want to tell you about the secrets of have you read Da Vinci Code? It's all about the secrets of the Catholics. No, it's a fucking work of fiction. Fuck off.
No, that part is hilarious.
Christ.
And I haven't read the DiAngelo thing, but when that came up, I was like, wait, what is going on here?
Exactly. You see,
but I thought she was gonna go the other way around with it. But she actually doubled down on what the guy was saying, despite how the audience would react.
She put the criticism that I have in the most, let's say, congealed manner she could, but she also said that she believes the criticisms are over exaggerating and overemphasizing the negative aspects of her book. She took the middle of the road approach with Robin DiAngelo, which to me is like, no, that's bull. Like the only real use for that book is as fuel when you don't have anything else to burn. That's the only real.
That's what I've heard.
Use.
That's what I've heard now from you, before from Adolf Reed and Matt Taibbi and Katie Halper. But
good company.
I haven't read
Adolf
it myself.
Reed, really? Adolf Reed has talked about this.
Oh, don't you remember? He had like the whole thing with Matt Taibbi and stuff on Useful Idiots.
You're right.
He can't stop talking about her.
Yeah,
he's a big critic.
I just remembered. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm just happy. It's just, again, Adolf Reed can be condescending to anyone because he's fucking Adolf Reed and he can show you the receipt right there, you know? But yeah, it's just,
but yeah,
I don't know.
Strange times. People, really, do you think we've made too much out of this whole thing? Again, they're the commenters.
I have for sure.
They're the commenters on the Rising who can back us. So.
Yeah, I have.
So maybe not, but yeah, it's been an interesting 24 hours thinking of this new Brie. Before I thought it was just kind of like a tone thing on her new show. But then like some of the ways that she's talking, on the Rising, and now some of the takes are also seeming a bit off, but we shall see. And yeah, I've seen also people comment about in our own comment section. Someone was saying, she's just going down, she's becoming more like a Democrat kind of person. So I don't know how accurate that is, but yeah, people start picking up on it way before me, to be completely frank. I'm a bit late to the party, it seems.
We are always like that. We were same with, what was the one? Ro Khanna. I was kind of I was holding out until
I
last
know that
moment.
was you though. I didn't know anything
Yeah.
about him, but I'd already decided I don't like him.
Okay. Again, throwing me under the bus as soon as he can.
What?
That was just him. That was just him. That one, just him.
Sorry, Sam. An honest man.
But
Even if
by
that
the way,
means throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, I apologize. I get animated for really stupid reasons.
Uh,
Condescension is the worst, I feel.
well, now I feel like you're no. Well, listen. There's hypocrisy. Being condescending is up there. What's the second one yesterday? I realized there's one that's also very big. Oh, I forgot. Anyway.
Contradicting yourself?
No. Forgot. But anyway, you're gonna get animated again, I feel. Should we move on to Nomiki?
Yes, I think so.
Let's do that. All right, Sam. So now let's move on to Nomiki Konst. And I don't actually know if this is going to be a long segment or if we have too much to say. We already made fun of her. I have one very important piece of detail / speculation / conspiracy to put out there.
The truth. It's the result of whenever I do investigative journalism, it's a conspiracy. Huh?
But you're not sure, it's speculation. Because we already played the clip in the beginning of the podcast, but we'll play it right now. Nomiki Konst saying what her website is called. Okay, now that we've all heard that, but Sam, Mr. Nomiki over there, has gone and checked, and they changed. The name of the website is not Konst for New York.
For NY.
Nomiki for NY. And so Sam thinks, and he has a nice piece of evidence there, Sam thinks they heard that or something, and then they decided to change the name of the website, or she had it wrong. And the thing that's weird that is adding to this speculation here is that the Majority Report did the weirdest promotion of this. And by promotion, I mean they don't even, in the headline of the video, they don't even mention 50 minutes of it.
1 hour podcast.
Yeah, but there's no mention of it in the headline. They didn't cut it separately. But in the headline, there's no mention of that. The headline is miscarriage patients refuse care. Okay. Fake SCOTUS doctrines with Lea Torres. Ricky Revesz. So, I mean, I'm sure you could have fit in Nomiki Konst running. I mean, I feel like that should have been the lead. So
and usually they cut those type of videos
and they chop it up
separately.
And in fact, she did good. So I mean, unless it's because of the website, because she already had her presentation ready. And my last point is, if anybody really finds Nomiki Konst super annoying, this was the least annoying version of Nomiki Konst out of the 6 times I've heard her speak for some reason.
Why are you mispronouncing my name? I'm not Nomiki Konst. I'm Nomiki Konst. Konst coming for New York.
Trying to help you out.
No, I'm Nomiki Konst.
I've been doing her a service for the past 4 months since I found about her, calling her Konst. But
I thought it was always Konst. I didn't think it would be. Yeah, it seemed
what do others think? Do people think Sam is right here? Do you think did they try to hide the segment afterwards, or why didn't they put I'm baffled. Why is it not the first thing in the headline here?
I'm pretty sure it's that, because even in the segment, if you pay attention to the segment you play, Sam Sitter is like, so do you have a website or something? Maybe you want to announce, or say you later announce, or are you sure? This is not something I can say. Yes, Konst for New York. Konst for New York.
Do you have a website, or is that Web 1.0? I mean, are you going
We do. We have it. It's going up right now. I believe this is a very quick thing. It is going to be konstfornewyork.com. Konstfornewyork.com. Konstfornewyork.com.
That was really weird. But she did.
Did you first? Before
what didn't annoy? I don't know why there's so many things that for once didn't annoy me about her. Compared to how Nina Turner is, how full of herself she is when she talks about the campaign, she seemed much more humble.
No, man.
Compared to Nina Turner.
Before that, what did you think of my props?
That really suits her. Because she would use
The yellow scarf. Did you feel that?
No, that was really good. That was so.
I've put a lot of effort into this, you know. It was good,
You
right?
certainly have. While I
Yeah.
put on another black t-shirt and sat here. But it's not my
See,
fault. You can
again,
only
this
see
is-
this part.
Again, like this is where you in friendship you go, no, Sam, this is great. You did awesome.
But how many times do you want me to tell you did great? Okay, guys, I'm gonna make another segment next week about Sam being too much of a baby and always need to affirmative.
You can make a
comments.
segment in admiration of your friend, but no. Okay. All right, let's move on to the substance. Yeah, no, I feel like the story about her going to the hospital and getting the check, and then it just
That
made
was
me
so
think,
unnecessary.
why isn't there more research? What like how self-involved and self-centered you can be? It's like Republicans, you know. What's his name?
Exactly.
The idiot. What's his name? The fucking who died. The guy who couldn't get his hand up. Vietnamese took him for a ride for a while.
McCain.
John McCain. Yeah, they lost the airplane. John McCain, the loser. You know, just because he was tortured, he was against torture.
Yeah.
Everything else, you know, including dropping chemical weapons.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
torture.
sometimes
No, I
yeah.
saw that with my own eyes. It was bad. It was bad.
Sometimes it makes me think twice. I forget about Nomiki and Konst, like specific examples when like someone has to like go through like the healthcare system to realize that the healthcare system is not that good. I'm like, well, we can't make you go through all life experiences in the next 3 months. So is there anything that you already heard about and read, you know, like the healthcare being an issue? I'm pretty sure I can find someone on the street and they'll agree with that.
John McCain, sorry, sir. We have to get you ready for you have to be trafficked as a sex worker for a while just to get a feel. Just to get a feel of how life of a sex worker is before you vote on this legislation. That would be a great idea. Force, because Congress people and senators, they don't do much. They're mostly on holidays. Force them to do life experience.
Something
you have to have a lived experience.
Every holiday. Like, once they get beat up by cops, like, once they get like robbed.
Bernie is forced to deal drugs on the street corner for 3 years.
Just like any time that they're off, they need to go through.
Oh man, Chuck Schumer! Oh my God, can you imagine Chuck Schumer becoming a pimp with his left? Yes. So you know, you shouldn't touch this girl after 1 hour from now.
So Nancy Pelosi just getting one ice cream option. Oh, now I understand what it's like. I didn't
Vanilla.
know. What if I want chocolate? So you're telling me there are no choices. This is it. This is all we bought for the family. Okay.
It's not from organic milk. Oh my God.
Okay, now I know how families struggle who can't afford it.
Yeah. So
she did go, but that was like that. But I just have such low, expectation standard for Nomiki. Just the fact that she didn't start screaming about something randomly or go too crazy. I found it to be not too and sorry. I think the fact that she's running for state senate, I found that just a bit more respectful. I feel like if she said she was running for Congress or actual Senate, that would have pissed me off. I don't know why. I would have been like, oh wow, you're full of yourself. All those, if you can win, you can win. That's great. But the fact that she was running for state senate seemed like a more humble approach to me, and I found that also less triggering, at least for me, than if she was running for a higher position, or if she was running like Nina Turner for senator / president / queen of the world.
Queen of mankind.
No, at least she kept on talking about her district and this part of the community. And she learned all the stuff about the district. That was impressive. She's like, yeah, it has 1/4 here. That other shop in Norderwell, yeah, that falls in there too. Then if you go 3 miles here, this. half of my house also falls under it. You know that basketball court? No, not that one, but the ping pong tables in the park. Yes, that's my district. Like, that was impressive. I don't know how these districts work, but like, it sounded like the map is like this, and then there's like a gap, and somewhere else is the rest of her. That was
There's
pretty
a tree.
impressive.
There's a tree house. The bottom of the tree is in the one district, the top part is in the.
But the decorative
I love-
flowers, yes,
By the
that
way,
falls under
man,
me.
oh my god, the best part. I mean, since you've said you don't like community, it's just stuck to my mind now because it's the word community, because it was just so funny that she kept talking about people in my, because they push her a little on the fact that apparently there is other leftist progressive candidates in
Which
the area.
I don't find to be too good of an argument. Too good. I don't like a counter argument. Like, maybe I can be better.
Me too.
Maybe I can win.
If somebody somebody else did that, Nomiki would be like,
Yeah.
they're standing against the white women from minorities.
I mean, that's
Oh.
good. Try to out left each other, whatever it is, or outwork each other, and the
they
other
won't
one
be
can
doing
go.
that, but-
Yeah. Anyway,
No,
I don't
no.
find that to be a good counter argument, but
this
you're
is
right. Nomiki would
Yeah.
probably weaponize that.
Yeah, but it's a brand new district, right? It's
Yeah.
a brand new. She's like, this is a new brand district, and but then people from this community. What do you mean, people from this community? If it's a brand new district, they literally just built it. What is this community? What do you mean, your mom and dad trying to get you move out of your house because you've been there, as you admit in the interview, forever? As just maybe it's time to get a real job, Nomiki. I know your YouTube channel is not working out. Ours isn't either. But we have other jobs. This is more for fun. We do this, and then
For now.
maybe one day it succeeds, hopefully. But get a real job. Stop living. And then she's like, oh, by the way, none of the money is going to TV station. It's all going to us, basically. It's all going to us. Wallet. What you like? That's much better. Yeah. Now I'm gonna write you a check. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do TV stuff, don't do it. Don't come turn around later and be like, oh yeah, the opposition, they used all the tools at their
TV ads.
disposal.
Yeah.
Although, I mean,
Oh
I
my
do
God.
understand for state senate, maybe it's not much worth, I don't know, to do TV stuff. So if that's where you're coming
No,
from,
as
then sure.
Sam Cedar put it, as you know, it's New York, and people don't notice. But if you change the business practices in New York, then California, Illinois, America, Europe, Milky Way, the galaxy, the entire universe. It's everybody follows state, senate, New York.
Yeah.
That's why, by the way, because that's why for I believe last decade or so, we've had a pretty progressive New York state senate. And yeah, we've seen the ramification. I mean,
True.
yeah, it's just
Unless Hillary Clinton ruined that before. She was a senator, right?
Probably. She was a senator for New York. She wasn't in a state senate.
No, exactly. She was senator, like the federal level representing New York. Yeah. No.
She probably stopped any success the state senate was having.
Oh yeah, I meant it from that.
But
yeah,
that's it. I think that's after her. But I don't remember the details. But yeah, the whole.
Do you have anything else to mention about her? I mean, we already talked about the website, right? I'm looking at my notes.
I have a thing about by the way, I'm sorry, what the fuck is going on with Majority Report? What are they doing that is so complicated that you have like first like Sam Cedar, every sentence, and like say it, man. God damn it. And then both Emma is the worst. Emma is always like with a pen or something, and then Emma she's looking down, and then she looks at the like camera or the producer. And then suddenly their hands go there as if they're like man. Yeah, I also think that too, Sam. It's interesting. But you live in the district, unlike some people. what are you doing? What is this? Like you're
Yeah, I know
what
what you mean.
complex
It's a bit of
process are you DJing at the same time? Are you taking notes, writing a novel? And what is going on? Like and they pretend as if they're doing a job. Like this is a job, like people talking about like other. So yeah, I
feel like Sam Cedar, he was like, you thought he was talking about like the most like, taboo subject, like someone like slept with their sister or something, and he's like trying to really like, pick his words wisely. You're talking about Nomiki running for state. I don't know what he was trying to.
Oh,
or
man.
that's just maybe
but
his
I do
style.
feel
He was just
he's excited.
so careful.
Yeah, he was so excited that you could see. Yeah, exciting. So he literally one point he's exciting, very exciting, super exciting, really, really exciting.
Oh, by the way, you made a great
really.
comment. By the way, there was something he didn't know, and you were like, if Jimmy Dore didn't know this, he would have jumped.
He didn't know on the petition thingy that for she's, by the way, not on the ballot yet. She doesn't have enough signatures to be on the ballot. But I feel like
she will. That shouldn't be that hard.
I don't know. I have no idea about the thing. But yeah, I have no idea about the thing, and I don't think there is anything wrong if nobody else does either. Because Sam Cedar, I don't know if you recall, there was something Jimmy Dore didn't know about.
I remember.
Judge or Supreme Court in one of their early debates, and then she's never let that go.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dore doesn't really know about the election that goes on at the local level or the difference between a Supreme Court position or that. But he's some uneducated. He's just trying. But you don't know shit about shit and feeling free to comment on anything. It's just what a fucking loser.
That Jimmy Dore thing was like the first thing I ever heard Sam Cedar said, and he was so condescending. I didn't look or hear for Sam Cedar until I think maybe when we started this show, and then it kind of became, kind of had to.
Part of our job.
Part of our task at the very least.
It's, again, it's the self-importance, go fuck yourselves, all of you, really. Like, get a real job. Sometimes I feel like I'm turning into a 60-year-old Italian fascist. So, like, get a real job. Fuck off. Like, stop complaining. No, it's just because they're so annoying, dude. They're like, why did you? Sorry.
I agree with you.
Do you have anything to add to my comment of? No. Okay.
I think I'm good. All right, Sam, so let's move on to our last few segments. So just a very short one on World Economic Forum. So pretty much 2 weeks ago, maybe while the World Economic Forum was going on, Primo Radical put this tweet, and basically I reacted in the tweet saying, listen, the World Economic Forum is nothing that important, that is that powerful and impactful on people's lives, especially Americans, right? Then Jared, one of our regular commenters, commented, Primo Radical was serious, because I wasn't even sure if Primo Radical was serious in that tweet. I found the tweet a bit strange, but he says, and then he goes on, you guys may not be up to speed on the World Economic Forum. And I was like, oh, really? And then he shared the Primo Radical video with me. So I watched the Primo Radical video. And then I also watched on Breaking Points what I found to be a really sober take by this author, Peter Goodman. He's written a book on Davos. And I kind of really pretty much agree with him. So here's kind of my take on the World Economic Forum. I mean, I really see it as like a virtue signaling thing for elites. So they pretend that, they care about some major problems worldwide. They talk about inequality, climate change, and all this. They just use this platform in a way to like signal that they care, and in a way then use that to perpetuate the status quo. So he was saying that, I completely agree with this. And then he also said that reinforcing their relevance beyond what they are kind of plays in their hand and can be counterproductive, because it kind of takes this attention towards this organization that is not that powerful. So I don't know if anybody makes these comparisons exactly, has made them. If nobody has, I'm just putting them to kind of further reinforce my point, which is that if you compare World Economic Forum to IMF or the World Bank, or even the WHO, which I think is less impactful than these two, I think that is totally
Or
unfair, or like it's just a bad comparison. The impact that IMF and World Bank have with the loans that they give to countries, they actually have a big role in changing.
and I think
Let me just
no, go
oh,
ahead.
it was done. They have a much more powerful influence, and then of course there are countries and senators and all this that are really the big ones. So I just think Primo Radical gives them a bit too much importance. And I watched his video, the first 40 minutes before he just shows videos from the people at Davos. He kind of goes through their website and the people that they're associated with. And one take he says that, these people who are saying all these things, they don't have our best intention in mind. They're saying all this for themselves. 100%. I 100% agree with that. Those people at World Economic Forum aren't thinking about what's good for the people or for countries and everything. They're kind of pretending like they are so they can continue their business as usual. And when you compare to all the other more powerful vehicles that elites have in order to advance their issues and interests, I think the World Economic Forum is a pretty weak one out of all of those that are there. Not that it's completely meaningless, nothing comes out of it, that's what I'm saying. But I think really the examples of how different I think they are from the IMF and the World Bank really shows where I fall and the power and influence that I think the World Economic Forum has. So that is my kind of little take on the World Economic Forum, which I guess hasn't changed much from what I had originally made. But I did go listen to Primo Radical, and great interview. Honestly, Breaking Point's interview with Peter Goodman, only 15 minutes. Marshall did this one, who's the friend doing the interviews now, according to Sagar. He's like friend of the show. Marshall now does interviews.
Marshall has a constant sort of dumb face.
Yeah, funny looking guy. But then here, he didn't push back too much either.
Yeah, no, he's but I mean,
so I don't know if you disagree with much of what I said.
I'm a bit harsher than you are. It's large marketing, networking. Yeah, they meet each other, they change phone numbers. Even IMF, World Bank are extensions of a state power. In this specific case, USA mostly.
100%. So the USA
almost exclusively.
Sorry for cutting you off, but exactly. Now that's such a more powerful vehicle that the US and EU can use in order to advance their interests than World Economic Forum, which is just, it's in the name, it's a forum. And the Great Reset and all this, they thought they were being cute and clever. They're like, oh yeah, no, we care about inequality too.
They thought it's such a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiots, right? I swear to God.
Exactly.
We call it Great Reset. That shows we care about reshaping the world in a less
capitalist way. Yeah.
And then people heard that and went, "You fucking crazies! You're trying to kill us all, my babies."
Yeah. So Primo is right. They don't have your best intention. When talk about the Great Reset, they're talking absolutely crap.
But it's just they have your best intention, though. Everybody, Primo thinks he has the best intention. We think we probably have the best. Everybody thinks they have the best intentions or the best solution. It's just, I don't understand, why do we have to state the obvious that, politicians think for themselves. Politicians have vested interest.
No, I'm just trying to point out the part that I agree with Primo on it. But pretty much my take is like, out of all the vehicles out there for powerful actors and everybody to advance their interests, this is the one. This isn't one of them. This is one of the powerful. This is not one of the powerful ones. Sorry. Even though, like Primo Radical points out, a lot of powerful and most influential people are involved. But I'm saying this is not one of their main tools that they can use.
Same people were involved in Briahnas. How did that happen? But my point, I think the American military is probably the most powerful vehicle they have to, you know what I mean? Like they have the American military and the financial system in the world and the world reserve currency. So I think those are far more, and a bunch of rich people who do benefit from that system meeting up and discussing their ideas, which most of them are nonsense. Doesn't, I'm sure they plan some shit there, but I'm sure
they can
at
plan
home they
exactly
too,
because
they plan it.
Exactly. That's one thing I didn't agree with the author. He's like, But yeah, it is true. When what do they do? The rich people there. So what do rich people do when they're together? They meet and they make deals. But it kind of made it sound like, outside of WEF, they're not allowed to talk or communicate. They're like, oh, damn it, we have to wait until next year. But listen, we'll follow up on this 10 billion deal in a year.
Ask Zuckerberg about the merger.
Okay, next year we'll be back. Oh no, there's a summer version. In the summer, we'll catch up.
Summer. Is Abu Dhabi having a conference this week? Thank God.
We'll get to talk again. But yeah, that's all I have to really say on WEF. So if Jared and others still think I'm missing something, please let me know. I'm not completely dismissing them,
we
but
are
I'm just
burning
putting them in a
bridges
context.
this week, aren't we?
Hey, no, of course not.
I am. Okay.
All right, guys, let's do quickly a Jordan Peterson segment. So first, I want to start again with another one of your comments. This one, again, from Bobby357. So thank you for this, Bobby. So Bobby made this comment in response to us, making fun of Jordan Peterson after his ridiculously childish tweet about that lady model. So he wrote, I'll read part of it. The great one, I love it. And Bobby has such good skills. That in bold, this in italic. Once again, Spar and Brawl in italic. Thank you for that, Bobby. Taken upon itself to insult the great one as a free speech absolutist and must allow from criticism or even mocking the great one. Yet I remember when Sam, so he goes on to pretty much talk about we don't know much about him and all this, and we make, but we pile on and we make fun of him and all this. He even says that, that Noam Chomsky here, when asked what he thought of the great Noam Chomsky quoted a journalist who had written an article in which he called the great one the intellectual that pseudo-intellectuals deserve. Yet by his own admission, Chomsky was wholly unfamiliar with the great one's position. But then he goes to say Sam has more time to learn about the great one. He says, I once mentioned a comment that the great one had helped thousands of young men get their houses in order. Kam responded on air that I could not possibly known that. But I did know that because I would not have made such comment without first doing the research. So I don't know if he's joking here. And then he goes on to talk about that the great one, he learned about him when he came out against Canada's Bill C-16, which compelled all federal employees in Canada to use transgenders pronouns of choice. So I have a few
Which
things.
I agree with.
Yeah.
That's what Jordan Peterson.
So, I mean, honestly, since, I got to look at some Jordan Peterson stuff, and now his YouTube videos pop up all the time. We're going to talk about one now too. I've got to know him much more, and I don't deny that I'm sure in some areas he's perhaps very smart, and he says things that make complete sense and all this, sure. But at the same time, he says a lot of crap in a lot of places, and fine, you can accuse me of picking on the crap a lot, but more and more perhaps he seems that he just makes crappy stuff that put him out there, and then I see it and comment on it. But I'm not saying everything that he said was wrong. And yeah, this Bill C-16 thing could have been exactly a good thing that he tried to fight against. So I'm not dismissing everything that he said, but I think Bobby also, anybody who likes him needs to admit that at the very least 50% of Jordan Peterson is cuckoo or something. If you come to me and you're like, Jordan Peterson's 50% makes sense, 50% he's a lunatic, then I agree. But if you think there's no room for criticizing him, I mean, no, it truly isn't. Some of the stuff that he says and does are quite ridiculous.
I don't think Bobby thinks that, but yeah, but to be honest, I disagree with the fact that he's helped thousands of young men, in a sense that I think young men, as they go through life, young men, women, people, as we go through life, we have crises and then we look for solutions. Those young men, if there was no Jordan Peterson, they would have grabbed onto something else, some other self-help, like swallow your frog in the morning writer, or one of those Christian, work hard type people, Islam. Why do you, it's quite funny. You see, for example, Islam, especially hardcore Islam, and it's in its most extremist fashion, is far more popular among the youth of second generation Muslims of Europe than it is with the youth in the Middle East. And maybe because they are more alienated, and that is the closest thing they can hang on to that they know of. And Jordan Peterson is just like that. So I don't think he has helped anybody, frankly,
And
because
maybe he has. He does a lot of
in his I'm not wait.
yeah. Sorry.
I'm not talking about his clinical stuff. I'm
No,
just
no, I'm
talking about his
this. Yeah.
work as a writer. I wanted to make that differentiation because, and even his clinical stuff, I looked at some of his articles, and Mr. Chomsky may not be familiar with his work, but I had I had the, what do you say? I had the bad luck of, doing that research for our video. So I did read significant amount of his books, and his clinical stuff is mostly to do with really a specific type of like recovery from alcohol and other types of addiction. His general writings in his books are non-referenced, nonsensical analogies that he builds on based on a very, very conservative and reactionary understanding of the word, epistemologically and ontologically. He's pretty much like he's not that much from your average Christian scientist type thing, really. So, and mixed with Jung. Obviously, the fact is, his main thesis in all his work is that there was this beautiful, fantastically organized, organically developed culture and community that developed, and then in 1960s and 70s these evil Marxists came, and by understanding that there can be different interpretations, which he agrees with, they but they took it too far and they ruined everything. And now, I mean, we had another comment by some other guy, I think esoteric something. He said, "Oh, you guys make fun of him. What do you suggest?" Well, for example, in the tweet we were making fun of him, let's give the best good faith understanding of his tweet which you gave, which he was referring to the obesity problem in America. Why doesn't he talk about, for example, plain packaging, which I support, for example, plain packaging for any sugary products? No more, you can't put a tiger that is really cool on a sugary products for children. Well, how about that, plain packaging? Why doesn't he talk about the monopoly of sugar industry? Or why doesn't he talk about the monopoly of the soda industry? But he thinks a picture of a slightly overweight, in his view, girl on a magazine, and bunch of fucking Marxists who basically 3 people all across the world have read. Everybody knows the name because their name sounds cool, but only 3 people have read. They are the influential part. No, he's not dealing with real issues. He's just another scaredy little cat who, in the face of real challenges in life, I have to focus. It's just like this loser leftist in 60s. We have to go back inside and overcome the challenges inside, because there are some middle class losers that they can't overcome challenges. They can't understand that there is people with actual problems in the world. There are people with actual challenges, not some personal, maybe I should feel more motivated and clean my room. Clean your room. Whoa, oh my God, what an insight. Girls don't like it when you shit all over your bathroom. What an insight. Fuck yourself.
And listen, if this helped, and I totally agree with pretty much everything that you said there, actually, I think. But yeah, so I mean, listen, that could have helped some people, maybe better than it helped some other people, sure. And he does so many different things. That's why now with him, so I don't fall with the same criticism every time. Anytime I do talk about him, I pick the specific thing that he just did. So, I mean, it's unfair, I think, to come to me and say, like before you said this about him, or like, you're generalizing. Now I've really stopped. Before I didn't know much about him, but now I think I know quite a bit. And anytime I talk about him, it's like specific things pretty much. Last time we talked about the tweet, and then we moved on. I didn't touch about other stuff. And yeah, he does a bunch of things. So some of the things that he did, especially before, perhaps were better. I mean, now I don't know. He seems more and more concerning as I feel like in 2 years he's gonna say even less stuff that makes sense.
Yeah,
it kind of seems like he's on that path. So I think perhaps back then he even made more sense far more frequently, or perhaps if you went early on in his academic career and all this, but
and I think there is a genuine dishonesty about the way he presents himself, in a sense that, and he does it in I've seen people like that, to be honest. Maybe that's why I get angry at him. People who pretend they have a pretense to honesty, while in fact they're playing a 4-level chess game with you. Because you just look at his interviews with, for example, the British comedian, escapes my mind right now, but with Channel 4, with British comedian guy, with Joe Rogan, and then look at some of his interviews with smaller right-wing channels. Look at the way he changes his sentences. Look at the way he changes his focuses. Or his interviews on his own channel, which are far more congeal than some of his other interviews and in some of other comments. So I think there's a dishonesty there. Secondly, I think the issues he's talking about and the topics he's talking about, like Jung or like religion.
Okay, sorry about that. Internet issues. Now we're back. So Sam, the last word we heard was you were like relit.
Yeah. So I mean, the issues he talks about, religion and the other one which I mentioned, I forget right now. They are just so, I'm sorry, 90s or early 2000s, and frankly so childish at this point for me. Carl Jung type of thing. It's almost, you know what I mean? Like, and he doesn't bring any much substance to the discussion. I mean, we both listened to parts of his interview with Richard Dawkins. I don't know what you think of that, but again, he keeps bringing back this idiotic discussion. And I don't even agree with Richard Dawkins that you can scientifically prove that God doesn't exist, because the definition of God is just it's such a floating signifier, frankly. But I felt like he just, to me, comes across as childish a lot of times.
Yeah, no, I think I definitely agree with you. And move your mic a bit. I'm sorry, your thing. But the thing with Richard Dawkins, I mean, I don't know what it's about. He talked so long. He asked such long questions. I mean, I don't even know what the topic is.
Same with Roger Penrose.
Yeah, Richard Dawkins didn't get to say like 3 words. I mean, I really don't. And there's one point I actually think I agree with Jordan Peterson, something about social constructivism, but really, it was really hard for me to follow the conversation. Just because the other very simple thing that I understood was that Richard Dawkins really made him admit that the thing that he says that these snakes represent DNA, he admitted himself that was just like a little quick thing he just threw on before doing a presentation for a class, and that he didn't actually defend that. I mean, he pushed it back. Richard Dawkins asked him about the first thing. He's like, I'll come back to that. Again, then he finally had to. And then at the end, he just admitted that, it was just nothing. It was just literally like me coming on this show 2 minutes before Sam and being like, hey, I saw this. And then I go on and
that's what came to my mind. Exactly. No, I mean, first of all, he doesn't allow. It's like the Roger Penrose thing. He asks these bloated, overlong, big words for no reason questions of, do you think if you, and he keeps saying, well, I don't want to in this interview talk too much. I really want to talk to you and I want to hear your opinion about this. But before that, I like to give a 40-minute lecture about my opinion. And there's literally one bit where Dawkins, because he's a bit of a forceful personality as well, I think Dawkins loses it and he's no, but you have to let me read this. I have to read this excerpt from Lacan. Let me read this. It's just, stop fucking, if you're interested in somebody else's opinion, let them fucking talk for a second. And it's just the same bullshit about the signs or no, these symbols, they may be talking to us from the past. It can't be that they just got high and drew some fucking dribble.
And
no, they talk.
Everyone's fascinated by snakes. I mean, it's just so obvious that this is a thing that will come up. Snakes are the creepiest, scariest, most dangerous thing. I'm pretty sure humanity has been obsessed with snakes since
but his point is that the medicine sign is like similar to DNA. It's helix.
How many symbols, how many things are there out there for us to think? Like, these are the kind of stuff that
exactly. Or Occam's razor, man. Occam's razor. Were they more like, did they not have imagination in ancient times? Like, is it like in 200 years, are they going to come back and say, well, Iron Man, what a documentary. I mean, I can't believe people lived like that. It's fantastic. Like, as Superman. Like, what are you talking? Anyways.
Yeah, I know. But you said a thing about him losing big words. I mean, someone can easily criticize me if they ask me what the conversation was about with Richard Dawkins or what he's talking about often. I quite frankly don't understand a lot of time. Now, I don't think it's
Jordan.
So I don't really think it's my fault too much. Perhaps some of it is my fault, but honestly, I don't try not to understand some of the things. But
it's all your fault.
yeah, perhaps. So I mean,
It's all
that's
your
a
fault.
criticism you can make.
This is my
Alfred, don't know.
revenge for
What is
separating
that?
yourself.
Your revenges suck. That was like the worst revenge. If that was your revenge, good. I'm glad you got it out of the way.
You suck. It's getting worse. It's escalating.
It's like the other day when you tried to convince me by just saying, well, this is what I think. And then you like dropped it. You didn't even like bother finishing the sentence.
I hate it too. I used something that I hate myself so much in an argument when people say you can't or you have to. Like when they use that. Recently somebody said you can't support this while doing that. And I said, yes, I can. Watch me. Like, I hate that so much, and I used it. So yeah, it was fair enough.
It's all good. But okay, I don't have anything else about Jordan Peterson. Should we move on to just our last story about Sweden?
No, but if any of these people who are his big fans are in contact with him, tell him when he gets such good people on his show, please let them talk. We like them too.
Good show and big views, man. I was thinking, I think Jordan Peterson left his tenured job. So that's
he's much better as an interviewer. He's much better. I don't think he's
no. Just thinking about the money he makes. He probably makes as much money as like 6 or 7 tenured professors right now. With his different businesses, easy. Just his YouTube videos, long 2-hour videos with that many views, oof, and everything else. So he has his team and his daughter too.
Yeah,
his relationship with his daughter. I would like to explore that. It's just funny. Like his daughter, I don't get. She like does the same things as him, but didn't go into academia and like works with him.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to learn more. From when he talks about, he talks about his daughter did that debate or something when like
I don't remember, but
maybe she went, but that was my impression.
I found his thing with his wife so weird that they keep sharing pictures and this is real love and this is real understanding. I don't care, but but I don't know about the daughter.
But no, but yeah, she seems.
But yeah,
he seems to work.
We should get to know the extended family of
Yeah.
the great one, and the great one is such a good. Wasn't the great one the? You don't know this, but the great one may have been also the name for the Cthulhu, the big monster in the great one. Yeah, the great one was the Cthulhu, the one in H.P. Lovecraft's books.
I don't know.
The big bad like monster.
There are a bunch of things. What did you just say?
Cthulhu. It's spelled really CTUH. It's a monster in H.P. Lovecraft.
No.
Literature type.
The big one that comes on pretty much on Google has to do with Wayne Gretzky, which is a Canadian famous Canadian hockey player.
Oh, I feel no, I wouldn't know that.
But there's also a movie, The Great One. So there's a lot of The Great One's a bunch of things. If you go on Wikipedia, it gives you 10 different options: literature, all this, movies, American comedian, actor. Yeah. Baseball player.
It was probably something else one. It was probably the terrible ones or something. I'm mixing them. I don't know. But yeah, that's it.
Let's move on to our last story. Final story. So this was hilarious. Is there anything for you to set up? Can you say what it's about? Pretty much. Where did they get this
Trap
story
House
from?
Guys covered. There was a story about. I loved it because they covered a story about Sweden, which I had no idea about Sweden. What made me fall more than ever in love with Sweden and in Scandinavia. I really want to go. I want to live there. It feels like that's my type of place. I should be living there.
Something wrong with you.
Why?
Huh? Out of all not liking to being fed at people's houses.
Not just only fed. No, but you're only looking at it one way because your view is always limited. Another revenge being taken. But look at what they discussed was that apparently in Sweden, when you go to people's, first of all, they don't do dinner parties that much, and when you do, you're expected to bring your own food or drinks or whatever. And if, for example, you're with your friend, then like his mom comes and says, Johnny, you have to come to dinner, but your friend doesn't get to come to dinner. So it's weird. But my point is that if you're the host though, like that is so cool. You don't have to feed your guests and it's so
That's
nice.
so weird. What if you guess this? I mean, I guess you know in advance, right? You're like, okay, I'm going there for 4 hours. Let me get a big meal in before I go to Sam's house.
let me bring some
Sam, I'm on my way. I'm just gonna stop at the burgers.
any dry food I can take. No, but what Matt says is so right, man. It's I live in Iran where people are very proud of their hospitality and shoving as much food down your throat as you enter the house. Like they threaten you with like curses and like, oh, if you don't eat, I swear to God, I will curse you to hell. That type of thing. And they're all grandmas, so you are genuinely like threatened. But I live in this country, and Matt is so right, man. I don't want to be involved in this gameplay of eternal ledger they have, this cosmic ledger of Sam came to our house, he had 2 apples, and I swear, because I've been in the background, as soon as the motherfucker leaves, they're like, when is he gonna invite us? He had three times he went and had fruits, so we have to go for 4 when
you fell in a big trap, my friend. You fell in the trap of false dichotomy. It doesn't have to be the Iranian way.
Fell in that.
It doesn't have to be the Iranian way. And it doesn't have to be the Swedish way. It's like a middle ground in between that. Maybe offer a little something to if at someone's house. Give them a little food. It doesn't need to be every time, oh, you went to their house, they need to go to your house. You went to their house, they need to go to your house. I know that's like that in Iran. We're shoving a lot of
resentment, even if
I don't know. I feel like there's like a little third way, and there's an alternative way that I live.
Third way, exactly. Third way, Tony Blair shit. Exactly. You're so pathetic at this point. You're
just insulting me. You're not even making arguments. You're just like straight up insulting me. You're done with making points. You're just like a piece of shit.
I'm not gonna take revenge in irrational.
But the case that they were talking about, they're like the friend comes over for a kid, let's say like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. So they're like the kid goes and plays, like the friend goes and plays video games by himself in the room, while like the kid has
weird.
In one way, it sounds like they were not a bad thing. You don't want to eat maybe their food and you get to play video games.
I was.
My question was, what if there's a sleepover involved or something? Or maybe in Sweden they don't do sleepovers.
I don't think that's I don't think that's an option in Sweden.
Starving in Sweden.
In your home or in the streets in the snow. Fuck you. If you're cold, you get to hunt a deer and then open up the deer and go inside for the warmth. That's the Swedish way. But yeah, I mean, look, I must say even if they don't feed you the whole part of if that's true that the kid gets to go eat dinner and the friend, that's really weird. Especially I think if you're like every culture I think of, they're always so hospitable, except British, I guess. Yeah, makes sense. No, but I like it though. Swedish culture sounds like my type of thing, man. It's always dark. You don't get to see that many people. When you do see them, they have to. Buddy. Yeah, it's true. Well, in the north though, in the south, it's pretty much like UK. It's right.
Let me check. Let me check sunset in Sweden right now, in Stockholm. Wow. Stockholm? Guess what time sunset is in Stockholm right now, buddy?
What?
Just guess what time.
I'm guessing 8:30.
9:52, and we're the 3rd of June. 10. That means by July, mid-August, I'm guessing it's somewhere at 11 o'clock or something. I don't know how it works, but it goes up quite.
I mean, that's in Iran. The latest is 9:30.
Oh, Iran is much earlier. Yeah, no, Switzerland, we're already like in the 9 o'clock area.
Yeah, it's the same here. It's right now it's 8:20, something like that. But Jesus, I had no idea. I thought it only happens in the north that you have this 6 months of the thing and 6 months. I thought it's not.
It's not all day. I'm guessing
but mostly. Yeah. I mean, that's okay. That's putting a bit of anywhere there is a cave. Free me from here to a cave.
But yeah, I've never been to Scandinavian countries. Here's some interesting stuff. Finland, one I heard about, what you were just saying, it's not really considered Finland. In Finland, apparently, when you consider Scandinavian,
by some Scandinavians, they used to make fun of it as a Russian sort of really
So
fresh.
I've heard you go to a Finnish party, you walk in there, nobody's saying a word. They're all quiet. Just quiet. Then as soon as they start having drinks, then they all end up naked in the sauna. And it's just like talking over
jacuzzi
one
and
another
sauna.
and just
Man, no,
so
this is
loud and wild. I don't know if
in
it's
the
true, but
in the UK, apparently, when I was in the UK, this was Scandinavia as a whole, especially Norway, because alcohol there was, it's like Canada, it's governmental controlled and they tax it so much. So it was famous that whenever Norwegians and Swedish, and I think it was, there is a bit of truth, they are so controlled and nice and put together, and and then as soon as you get 2 drinks in them, because they don't drink often, they are so, yeah, you the Vikings, you remember we conquered the world. And sauna is a very Finnish thing, but yes, Scandinavians regard, I mean, Norwegians and Danish and Swedish were a bit like Finnish are really Russians, their language. But they would, I don't know if they would have said that openly or not. But I must say, I love Finland just because of sauna. Probably the greatest dry sauna, or sorry, I mean, that's an Iranian thing. Sauna is the best, like, it's the best thing. I do it every day and I love it so much. It's the best. Thank you, Finnish people, for your contribution to human history.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, dry saunas, but I also like the other one, the steam ones, if I ever go. But
steam is good, but you can't just stay as long.
Yeah.
And in normal sauna, it's you can put water and the things and you get the steam anyway. So I like it. But the steam sauna, I must say, in the short burst, it feels cooler. Like it's so like,
I know. But
I must say.
But it's so funny when, like, from like the outside, when you're not from a country, and then you find out like 2 countries that you think would get along, but like no, people always have these weird things that they say about each other. Like Brazilians hate Argentinians.
Of course.
I guess
Neighbors,
it makes a little bit of sense. Brazilians hate Portuguese. It's just funny. I mean,
in my experience, everybody hates everybody. Yeah. And there was another British thing. The joke, what was it like? There was this thing they would say about like it was showing tribalism. Like it was the thing about between Oxford and Cambridge. Like we are Oxford, they are Cambridge. We are Oxbridge, they are rest of British universities. We are British universities, they are rest of the world universities. You know what I, like it's always that. Yeah, it's like America. Yeah, I definitely. But yeah, but I love Scandinavia so much, man. I just want to live in a fucking near a mountain and a forest, far from people. Yeah, but too many people around it.
Man, Norway is so funny. Last point, literally, this guy, like Geneva, where I live, it's like people consider it to be boring. I don't know what's wrong with them, but this guy comes for like a work thing from a village like 3 hours away from Norway's Oslo. Right. Nice. And he's like,
and Oslo is a village, really.
So. Yeah. And he's like, man, Geneva is amazing. It's so lively. I thought he was like being sarcastic. I was like, yeah, funny. People always make fun of it being a boring place. I don't think so. I don't know what people say. He's like, no, I'm serious, man. Look at this. Look outside. There's actually people. I haven't seen a person.
What do you mean? The shops are open until 6 p.m.? Oh my God.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn. Now there it might sound a bit boring where you are. But okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's wrap this up. We had a lot of fun.
I'm gonna leave the how to fight loneliness story for next week because I want to keep people waiting. not because I ran out of time, because I talk too much.
Sounds good, folks. So please leave all your comments, questions, and criticisms down below. We'll make sure to get to them. If not, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in our next video. Thank you.